How's everybody doing tonight? We're here to try out a brand new mod that just released actually a few days ago for the very first Freedom Planet game, and that's called Freedom Planet Plus. Now, on the base, this mod is mainly focusing around getting Torque and Spade, the two characters that were planned to be playable in the original Freedom Planet before their development history just stopped. This mod aims to make those playable characters playable in all the stages except for just the few they were available in like a Steam beta. So the big focus of this specific mod is on those two characters, but there's a lot of different things about this that also tweaks Freedom Planet. So I kind of figure we'll just check this out tonight, just kind of chill. One of my favorite indie games here in general. To take a look at the mod page in particular, this is made by Farkle. This just came out, I believe, on the 21st, so it was like a few days ago at most. It's very recent. This allows you to play as both Torque and Spade in the final game without requiring you to play either a modified version of the game, like you can take the retail copy, modify its memories, and then by modifying memory addresses, you get the characters in the game playable because they're just still in the code. Or you download like an old beta build that's off the Steam launcher and play that way. We have played with these characters before, years ago, so I'm a little unfamiliar with the characters because I haven't played since when we did our Countdown to Freedom Planet 2 series, which, on hindsight, that was September of 2022. So it's been a while since we last played with these specific characters, but this in particular gets those characters working in every level. No weird crashes, no weird soft lock, stuff like that. But it also does a couple other things too, where it has some toggles for resist mechanic or revive, which is a thing introduced in Freedom Planet 2. Lilac now has a infinite dragon spin, so she can just twirl in the air without burning any energy, which is pretty big. Infinite lives, which also is really good just for blitzing through the game, not caring about the difficulty setting at that point. Just crank it to high and just beat your head against the wall until you win. It's a really interesting mod. Got some character customization to it as well. Every character has 5 color palettes to it, including their original from the game. And there's still more content being added to this, but right now we're playing the 1.0 version, so some things aren't in the game just yet, at least from what I can see in terms of what's planned for a roadmap. Like, this is a big question. Will Torque and Spade get their own game mode? Yes, eventually. So the creator is working on getting an adventure in classic mode for Torque in particular, but for Spade, there would just be a classic mode because of how the story in particular in Freedom Planet plays out. This makes sense. Other stages like this one here, Horizon Starport, looks like it's also going to be added to the game. I'm not sure if it's in this current build, because I do have some save files from Freedom Planet 1 that I can just look at all the stages that are playable in this mod. This was blocked out. Not sure if you have to unlock it, or if it's coming in a future update. Not 100% sure on that one. But as of right now, if you're going to play this, it's available via the Steam version only. There is plans on a GOG-supported version in the future, which means you can play this with a DRM-free version. I would prefer that, honestly, because then I can just have a completely different executable for this and flip-flop between the versions at will. As of right now, you need to modify your own Steam copy, so back up that said file. A little bit of a mess, but I'm going to go ahead at this point. There is a trailer here. This is the final trailer. It wasn't a reveal one, but I'm going to just play this so people get a feel of at least some of the things in general that is introduced here in this specific mod. And it's also giving me an opportunity to catch up a little bit on chat. Hey, Akira, how you doing? So my headphone keeps on like glitching out. I think these headphones are starting to go, because my left ear constantly kicks in and out of signal, which is a concern because it has a attached cord. So I think the cord might be starting to fritz out. Always the first thing to go in headphones too, which is so sad. Alright, but as I mentioned before, this is some of your modifications. So these are in a mod menu. You can turn on and off every single toggle. I didn't mention there was specific max run toggles for the two different characters in the game. For this says Carol and Spade, but I believe now it's changed for Torque in Spade. So that just changes their run animation, really, from what I understand. We'll toggle stuff on and on and just kind of play around with things. But Yeah, this showcases a lot of different things in the mod. Like, this is the revive system, so you can either start back from your last checkpoint or continue the battle from where you die, just like how you do in Freedom Planet 2. Very similar mechanic here. There's the infinite spin. Lilac didn't lose any of her meter. Something, again, that is unique to this mod. I wouldn't really say that's a new thing, because I don't remember that being in Freedom Planet 2. I haven't played 2 in a couple years, though, so it's going to be something I'll have to just kind of blank on here and there. Honestly, I've been wanting to go back and play 2. It just released at a very weird time in my life, and I think a lot of those memories are associated with the game, which has kind of soured it for me, unfortunately. But that's just how sometimes life goes. I do like the different colors for every character, especially Mila. Mila, I think, has like the widest color palette because her hair and her fur changes because that alone, like, it stands out. I think it's probably the best set of different colors. It's also going to be nice to see how both Spade and Torque play in levels that they weren't originally designed for. So, like a stage like this, I don't think Torque was playable in Sky Battalion. I'll have to look at my VOD, because that VOD specifically, we can look at and see what stages were available per character here. So if I look at Torque, I think he has an access to a handful. Yeah, so we had Dragon Valley. We have, actually, you know, it's going to be kind of weird to see VOD and VOD. Let's not do that. Let's just actually, like, push back out the feed. Where is the browser feed? There you go. Boop. That looks better. Let me kick it back a couple. All right, here we go. This is what I'm actually sorting. So, Shangmu is just a thing for everyone. We ignore that. So, Dragon Valley, Fortune, Sky. Then we also had, I'm going kind of fast, I remember that. Battle Glacier and Final Dreadnoughts 1 through 3. You don't get 4. And in terms of the other character, I remember Spade had almost nothing. Because Spade wasn't done. He was only available during a beta for PAX South at the time. And he just had, I think, 1 stage, right? If not, maybe 2, because of a different build. Yeah, because he's in Mila stage here. That's 1. And Fortune Street here. That's the other one. Okay. So this actually is a level select, because he had to beat it. Yeah, so Aqua Tunnel and Fortune Knight were the only stages for Spade. Pretty big upgrade for Spade to play more than just 2 stages, I will say. But let me go ahead at this point and get ourselves ready to actually play the specific game in question. Basically, I was playtesting Chrono Gear update, mostly bug fixes, and the overclock difficulty. I'm curious about the difficulty myself, because I've seen some updates here and there of the game after I played it myself, but I haven't gone back since I beat it back in January. So, next time I play, I'm probably going to end up playing that overclock difficulty for myself and see how that is. Alright, so what's nice, at least, I was able to make a separate executable for this game. And I was able to shortcut it inside of Steam, because you have to modify, as I mentioned before, your copy of Freedom Planet to get Freedom Planet Plus installed. So, make a copy of that executable. Then you can make a shortcut inside of Steam and play them both. Different title screen. I mean, difference in quotes. Just a plus at the end. But it is different in color. So there's that. This is version 1.0. Time Attack is where we're going to see all of our major things, because this is where we can play as both Spade and Torque in particular. And jumping in, here's every single stage in the game playable, which is huge. Now we have some mystery stages here. These 2 in particular. So there's one between Thermal Base here and Trap Hideout. That's unavailable. And then there's also this one at the end, which we know that was a stage that was shown off in the mod itself. Oh, my windows are going crazy. I just want to go back to my browser. There we go. The stage for Torque in particular. Horizon Starport. I believe that is coming in a future update or is unlockable. I'm not 100% sure. One cool thing They made Mahjong 16:9. I guess if you want to play Mahjong in widescreen, here you go. It's finally in widescreen. It's just a fun little mini game thing. It doesn't really do much in the grand scheme of things here. It's just kind of a fun kickback game to play. Although the depth perception on this always messed with me, so it takes me a second to realize which tiles you can actually interact with, which ones you can't. Which thankfully the game does a pretty good job telling you. But yeah, this is neat. It's just, again, an extra little mode in the game, but it was originally presented in 4x3, so the mod just makes it 16:9. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. I'm just gonna showcase a little bit of the mode and get out of here. If we go to options, here's your mod settings. So this is where we can tweak everything. So resist I will turn on. So that way if we die, we can just revive. I'll keep infinite lives off. That's pretty self-explanatory. Freedom Plan 2 Dragon Cycle, I'll turn that on. Because I'm probably going to end up just playing the game as all the characters in general. And here's Carol and Spades max run. So I can just turn these on, and the characters I think should just run at full speed, but keep them off for the moment. That way I can actually see myself. I'm going to go to Spade, and then we're going to just play as him really quick and see what the run difference is. So it takes a minute to get into full run. Now let's quit and turn that option on. I do wish that was something I can just toggle in the pause menu, but it has to be in the options. It makes sense. I don't really see anything really jumping out immediately on that setting, but to be fair, I think I need to play more of the levels than just running in like a straight line in the beginning. That's not going to tell me much. I'll probably end up keeping those off anyways to play as the characters originally played as back in Freedom Planet 1. Or at least what they were planned to be. The thing is, in particular, with Spade and Torque, these were both planned characters. They were, I believe, a stretch goal for the original Freedom Planet's Kickstarter campaign. But what happened was... it was a lot of overpromising. This happens a lot with Kickstarters in general. Spade and Torque were promised early on in the game's development. Then when it came out, Galaxy Trail announced Freedom Planet 2, like a year later, and all development focus shifted to the sequel. So instead of putting those efforts to make Spade and Torque fully playable in the first game, it was a hard decision, but it was decided to cancel the work done on Spade and Torque and just move on to Freedom Planet 2, which honestly, in hindsight, I think was for the better, because Freedom Planet 2 is just a much better game compared to 1. 1's fantastic, but 2 fixes so many of the issues that 1 has, and has some fantastic level design, pretty good story. I think it worked out in the end. And thankfully, we have a mod like this that restores Spade and Torque without having to modify files, and also we can just play as these characters in every stage, which is huge. So let's go ahead and start off here with Torque. Now let's put him in a stage he was never designed for. So again, the only stages I believe that were grayed out for Torque. Let me just look at that again in my VOD. I have the executables on my machine, but I don't want to run 2 copies of Freedom Planet. That might freak out the game. So we can do Aqua Tunnel, or we can go into Relic Maze to start. I think I want to do Aqua Tunnel first. So if you haven't seen how Torque plays before, Torque is basically... if you've played Gunstar Heroes, this is a great comparison to that specific game. As that was kind of the idea for Torque. He was supposed to be a love letter to Gunstar Heroes on the Sega Genesis or Mega Drive, depending where you live. He has different weapons which have different elementals tied to them. So we got wood, earth, water, fire, and metal. So we can swap these 3 specific weapons here, which is a buster, a bomb, and a flyer, to the different elements, and they all have ammo. But he has a standard laser here, and we can actually preview it here in the mod. So I just press the B button, he just shoots. So you can see how every weapon works. So Wood Buster is like a spread shot, Earth Buster is kind of like this clap, Water Buster is almost like a flamethrower, ironically enough. Fire Buster is actually a flamethrower, Metal Busters is a giant laser beam. Then if we go to the next weapon, Wood Buster here, kind of like a spread shot bomb. Earth, it just shoots out crystals, which is actually a similar attack to one of the bosses in this game. Water Bomb, Bubble turns into a spread shot after the fact. Firebomb, nice and explosive fire. And Metal Bomb, this is actually something you can control. It does eventually get destroyed, but you can control where the metal bomb goes. It's kind of like a directional laser. Finally, for the flyer. So this is Wood Flyer, Boomerang, Earth Flyer, just shoots straight into a wall and becomes a spread shot between the vertical axis. Water Bomb is just shooting out water. It's like, here you go, I got a bubble gun. Alright, and Fire Flyer is another flamethrower, but it just kind of spirals up, kind of like a fire tornado. And the final weapon, Metal Flyer. You shoot out another boomerang style thing. It's kind of like a shuriken, just kind of follows a straight line. Trying to think what I want here. I think I want the spread shot of Wood Buster. Every single weapon, too, has different amounts of ammo, so you got to keep that in mind. I think I like the Metal Bomb best because of the directional effect. And I like this because I can do a lot of damage all at once. I don't know how well that's going to work. Alright, but
Let's do this!
Let's do it. Except we can't do it that way, though, because if you're playing this game, it's law. You gotta do this at least once. I gotta do this at least once. As I'm setting up for this. Hey there, Matt. How you doing? I gotta turn this up. I'm not gonna kill people's ears. So this is how Torque sounds when he's actually, you know, going into a level normally.
Let's move out!
Yeah, it's pretty tame. Just gives you a nice battle quote. But for whatever weird reason, this is one of my favorite Easter eggs in all games. If you hold up and jump, you get a completely different effect. And I love this so much.
Let's do this!
Okay, well, that definitely didn't come out for some reason. It doesn't help. I gotta tab back and forth between the window. Let me try it again. There you go. Can't help it. I love that stupid effect. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know why that's a thing, but it's a funny Easter egg. Hold up and jump, and he just goes off the screen with his neck. It's so stupid, but I love it. Yeah, I can feel you on that one, Matt. That's why I kind of just want to do something chill tonight, because I really am just in the same boat. This year's horrendous, dude. It's not even, like, halfway over. Can't really go up here at all. Yeah, because I don't have a flutter jump. This level was strictly designed for Mila only, so I can't really go in certain paths because of the verticality issues I have. Also, it's a little hard for me to get top speed, which doesn't help. So another thing that's also going to throw me off for a while in this one is that this mod specifically is remapping the controls. So normally you can only use the D-pad, but you can also use the analog stick in here. That's significant because Freedom Planet is using one or the other on PC. This was fixed for consoles. So that tells me they're using console binds in particular here. And that's something I'm used to, because for me it's like A, B, and C. Like all three of the face buttons I have mapped to those normally. But this is using the shoulder buttons for some of the extra things. I believe C is my shoulder button. So my muscle memory is gonna really get the best of me here trying to play these levels, because I'm not used to this control scheme. I've played the Freedom Planet console versions here and there, but I mainly play this game on PC. So it's gonna be rough in some areas when I just randomly press the wrong button and wonder why can't I like jump or use my gun or something like that. think I have to go down because I can't really go anywhere further here. At least with this character. Nope, never mind. Because normally you just like, oh yeah, that's right, you can fly up with this character. You see, I got a preference. I've played through every stage that Torque was available to play once, and that was that one stream in 2022. That was the only time I played as him for a reason. Because this character is not easy to play as in Freedom Planet Wombat mods. So, it's not a character I'll go back to play because it's kind of a mess to set up. So I gotta remember how specifically Torque will play in some areas too. I'm not gonna play every stage in the game as this character. I just want to see what certain stages play with both Torque and Spade. And I might just end up playing through the game via classic mode, just as like Lilac or something, just to kind of play the game in general. Because Freedom Planet's a good game for me just to kind of pick up and play. That's kind of what I'm wanting to do. At least for tonight. How's this gonna work? Oh, easy. Especially when I got the bubble gun and just fire up. I do wish, in some ways, that these characters were properly finished, but again, as I said earlier, I think it was the right call for Galaxy Trail, just focus on Freedom Planet 2 instead, with how well that turned out. Torque and Spade had some really good ideas, but I think of the two, Torque was the one I'm really sad that got scrapped. Because I like the idea of him playing so unique. He was the most diverse character of the 5 that were planned. Okay, at least I can push the switch, because I don't know how else I would have made that specific section work. This thing's normally pretty easy with Mila, because I could just use a shield. But here, I don't have a shield weapon. Forgot he also has like a Mega Man style dash move, but it only works when you're holding down. So I have to be on the ground for that to work. Down and jump will make him dash. It's cool to see at least that all the stuff in this stage technically does work with other characters besides Mila. Because that is a thing in some games. You would think, oh, this is probably just a generic actor. So if I interact with this any character, it should work the same way, right? No. Some games are weird coding-wise when it comes to objects, where they look for specifically a certain character to interact with. Does that make sense? Like, it's not, how games are coded in general sometimes is a weird mess. Like, I think of, like, the Zelda games on N64, always a great example. Like, some things work with, say, like, Young Link, and some things don't work with Adult Link in Ocarina of Time, just because of how they coded it. But then other things that you don't think would work between both of the ages, which is weird. Like, for example, half of the cutscenes as adult work as a child, which look super goofy. But that's just how the game's coded. It's not checking for a character, but sometimes it does. Because I think it's Iron Boots in Ocarina checks if you're an adult, and also have Iron Boots in your slot on the inventory to give you Serenade Water. If you got Iron Boots and you're a child, it doesn't give you Serenade. It's like, that's what I mean. Games can sometimes be weirdly coded. So to see Torque, for example, here just bounce off the springs, that's pretty cool. Oh, this guy's gonna be super easy, isn't he? Because you're supposed to throw these bombs back at the guy, but I don't really need to worry about that. I got a gun. I mean, Bubble Gun's probably not the most effective. I actually do like the Metal Buster here. It does a lot of damage. It's a little hard to control, obviously. There we go. I figured he didn't have that much health left, so we'll try the other guns and see how effective it was. It wasn't. The Metal Buster was the best thing to use flat out. Alright, let's quit and go and play some Speed.
Smart move.
Now this character is only possible in 2 stages, so we got a playground of different choices here. You know, I think it would be very ironic to play through Trap Hideout with the character that's at the end as a boss. It is his home, after all. So this character uses cards in particular for his weapon. So he'll throw cards with his standard attack, and then you see up there in the meter in particular, it's not a power meter this time around, it's just cards. So you can throw cards straight down in like a turret mode. You can do up to 5 card throws. You gotta wait for the meter to refill. It does a lot of damage. But the thing is, I don't know how much damage on some enemies because, again, this guy was playable in 2 stages. So, we'll really get to see how well this character plays. I'm really just being reckless right now. It's probably just because I don't care with the revive mode on. If I die, I just restart from where I die. Don't get set back to a checkpoint. Okay, these cards aren't really as strong as you think. The dash, I think, also does damage. Yeah, just not much. Because you can dash twice in midair, and you can control the direction of it. Here, we'll just restart a checkpoint, because the checkpoint's literally right here. Nice cheap shot. Well, I want to see, does he have a special animation for being on the barrels in this stage? Because the only 2 characters that were supposed to be in this stage are not here right now. Nice. Oh, he just runs. Alright, well, that's a little boring. Because I know Kara and Mila ride those, and they, I think, have special animations for it, but obviously not here. Sometimes I just like to use the cards as a correction of my jump, because it gives me some extra height. And since you have 5, you can do that up to 5 times in the sky, which extends your jump for a pretty good distance. Like, this section is going to be really good for the card move because I can just bypass a lot of the challenge here and take some alternate routes. Yeah, just in time, because I was about ready to die. Oh, you can actually dash through this stuff too. Man, that thing is a more powerful attack than I thought. I thought the dash would just be doing chip damage, not actually going through walls like this. These walls, well, you can, I guess, destroy them with any attack. So in some ways, my dash is stronger than my cards. refill the shield. Plus, this also gives me health. Hey, look, a faker. Oh, he's wearing different outfits, so if you fight Spade as Spade, they give him ultimate costume. That's cool. So if I was here with one of the costumes on, it would just be my color palette right now, the normal one. That's not fair. He can throw more cards than me. Oh no, I died. Well, this is where the keep fighting option comes into play. I get less health reviving, but I still get some, and that's the point. Yeah, it's kind of hard to fight Spade to Spade. Who would have thought? The guy who has really weird arcs on his throws, not being the easiest to fight with. There we go. Just brute force it. That's why the revive option's very nice to have. Alright, now I definitely want to try to play these stages with characters they never designed for. So let's start with Mila first, and we can change her color here. Wait, what? I need to turn it up. What is that sound effect? Interesting. Let's try a pink-haired version of Mila. She's not possible to play through Dragon Valley with, so I gotta play Dragon Valley. Okay, the B and C thing is really gonna mess me up, because I'm gonna hit the wrong button every time to pull out the shield. I wonder if she can do the skip at the end, or can she even make the jump at the very end to do the skip? I'll explain when we get there, but there is a way to skip the very final fight in this stage. I don't remember it's possible with Carol, but it's very much possible with Lilac, obviously. There we go. Not the same as boosting off of that with Lilac. I know for a fact we can't do the block skip here. Lilac, I think, is the only character who can do that. Because Carol, I think, also needs his block. Because again, with Lilac, you can just skip this puzzle. I know Mila's considered one of the best characters for speedrunning. I think that's still the case now, because of just how fast she can go with momentum. But Lilac's still really fun to run through this game with, too. Here's some of the momentum I'm talking about. I swear, sometimes doing diagonal, this is kind of hard. Because I swear, I'll push like down left and she'll just go left. Actually, can I just jump up there? Yeah, Yeah, I can just barely make it. I got a left platform. That was a little bit of a skip. If only I knew that before. A skip saved me negative 30 seconds. Shouldn't be in the negatives. Barely. I had a feeling my hover is not that high, so I needed some kind of a stepping stone if I was going to make that shortcut. Don't need the health. Well, let's see if we can keep the shield, though. That would be preferred. Alright, so this is the section I'm not 100% sure if Mila can do the boss skip at the end, but it's worth a shot. It really just depends on momentum with this specific character. I do need a helping hand here, though. Oh, that was a terrible attempt. Thankfully, I can just go past this pretty easily. And I'm locked out. I don't think she can make it anyways, to be fair. I'll just outrun it. So this is possible to skip, this specific fight, but I think it's really only possible with Lilac. If it's possible with Carol, I've never done it. Torque? Now thinking about it, might also be able to make the skip because he can just literally fly. I kind of want to play this stage now with Torque, just to see. Oh yeah, how do you dig, by the way, with this character, too? She might not be able to dig in the boss fight. Can't remember what button was. It was B or C? She can dig through the ground and get, like, random items at times. Oh, speaking of, I saw a video the other day on social, which is very interesting. New stuff is being discovered about this game, it seems like, every day. Because there was something that over 10 years later, people literally just found in Relic Maze. I don't know where exactly it is. I'm going to refer back to the video. I think it's like around here? Okay, so let's see. No, it's not here. A little further ahead, I think. There we go. Yeah, this. I did not know this was here, and I played the game for over 10 years. It's a random hidden hallway. It doesn't serve much of a purpose. It just gives you a lot of health in particular, but yeah, who knew? Also, nice layering issue here. This is like this in the base game. It's not to do with the mod. Just a random little hideaway. I don't know if there's any more like that in the game. I just found that super interesting. Alright, speaking of interesting, we gotta try Torque here. Let me change my costume. I like this one because it actually changes Torque's skin tone as well, instead of just like his goggles in his suit. Alright, Dragon Valley. Let's see if he can do the skip. Might just use Wood Flyer there. And for you. I think that's good. Alright, well, we gotta do the thing again. I'm gonna turn it up because it's just that funny. No! It gets me every time, man. Can't help. Must always scream. There's a reason why that specific animation is one of my alerts. Because it's just a classic. Oh yeah, I think Torque can easily do the skip, because he flies for days. Get wrecked. No, just chill on the screen. Yep, alright. I was wondering what was up there. A whole lot of nothing. Okay. Yeah, there's just random walls you can run on and ceilings. That was one of them. I didn't even know that was actually a thing you can run on. Doesn't help. It's just kind of annoying, actually. Some cases you actually do want to do that, because I think there's certain sections that's actually strategical. That's not one of them. Wait, did I just hover in the air? Like, I hover twice? Oh, this is busted. Yeah, just tap the button, infinite flight. You refill your meter faster than you lose it. Huh. This is the section you only get to is Carol. We're here now is Torque. Okay, if he doesn't make the skip at the end, I'm gonna be more confused because he has an infinite flight mechanic. I didn't even know he can do this, but again, Torque was never finished. You can see the remnants of that. I don't know how you get up there normally. This just reminded me of the stupid meter in SonicGhost 6, where Sonic's meter was never properly coded. I think because it had like a typo in it or something like that. So the meter never actually drained, and you can use your gems infinitely. And this kind of gives me a similar energy. Oh, you can't dash underwater. That makes sense. This is so stupid. Torque goes where no character has gone before. The ceiling. That's where you get one of the cards, I believe, as well. Again, this is specifically just for Carol. Rip shield, but I don't really think I'm gonna need it. Now how busted this flying mechanic is. And away we go. This is a whole other level of cheating. So about that whole Torque is designed for combat thing. I know, I think it's just designed to just skip everything if you can just fly past the level.
Objective
Step 5.
complete.
It's so stupid. Alright, let's play as another character we're not supposed to in a level. Lilac or Carol for Aqua Tunnel is the question. Actually, no, I have a better idea. Lilac will be for Tunnel. sound effect gets me every time. Let's go with the blue scarf. We're gonna use Carol here. Oh, wait a minute. Is that what the oh, I just thought of what the stage is that's grayed out. Angu Lagoon doesn't work with anyone but Lilac still. Interesting. Is that because this specific stage functions around Lilac's boost mechanic? It has to be, because that's the only reason why that stage would be grayed out. Oh, if that's the case, wait a minute.
Yes, sir.
No, this one's still grayed out, so Torque's unused stage is still not here. Okay. I was wondering. Alright, so I was gonna take Carol to Lilac's exclusive stage, but it seems like that's gonna stay as an exclusive. I'll still play as this character. We'll have to just play in one of the other stages, and by other I mean one, because she plays all these other ones normally. The only stage she wouldn't have access to is Aqua Tunnel, but that kind of feels weird. Can she even get a motorcycle here? Unless this level was modified to give you a bike, I don't see how we're ever gonna have a motorcycle. So I'll just be hoofing it on foot. Because that's her big game plan here. It's just find a thing of gas and then ride the Harley. But unfortunately, have you seen the gas prices here in whatever planet this is? Can't afford motorcycles. Although I don't think I'd want to drive my motorcycle in an aqua tunnel. That just sounds like it's gonna gunk up the lines with water. Oh, this is a modification. That little... what do you want to even call that? It's not a spring, but it's technically a spring. It's a little thing of jello, we'll call it. That's not there for that little water section, normally. But Kara has no other way to climb in the stage. There's no walls. That's a clever modification. Dude, I miss Freedom Planet 2 version of Carol. Freedom Planet 1's version is so rough by comparison. This character got such a big upgrade going to the sequel. I just miss my frisbees. They're just not gonna give me a motorcycle, aren't they? I was joking about that, but I kinda actually want one for real. And this is kind of one of the reasons why I would like the motorcycle, because that would make this fight a little bit more tolerable. I'm noticing without a shield or some kind of boost, I'm not doing great. At least against that one fish. And it's just, I'm really just noticing the lack of detail that changed on Carol, though, with her color change. It's just the scarf. Her outfit's the same. At least it could have made the rest of the outfit blue. So I noticed in the trailers that some characters get a lot more change with their color palettes than others. I don't know if it's a limitation or just a design choice, but man, there's almost nothing changed. Even though I don't have a motorcycle, I can still just climb walls. I think I want to refill the shield, though. As another thing, I'm gonna say that as a lot. This has nothing to do with the mod, but maybe we can have Freedom Planet 2 in 1 kind of mechanics. Like, show me how much shield I have left. I would love for that to be a thing added to the game somehow. Because that's a big thing Freedom Planet 2 fixed. You can actually see how much shield you have left. Because they tell you on the actual health meter. Oh, this fight's gonna be horrendous. I'm a close range fighter. This little serpent's never gonna be close. This is just a fight. Hope you had full health coming in. Otherwise, you're waiting for this guy to come to you. Nice, on my little last thing of health. Because I can't take any more hits. Alright, because we did it already, we gotta see how the stage plays as Lilac. What colors we have for her. Kind of liking the pink because it kind of matches her purple hair. So we'll try this outfit. Oh god. It's a lot more gaudy than I thought. That's a very clashy looking outfit. Ooh, now I think I regret picking the pink. A shade of purple and pink, they don't mix. I was hoping it was just gonna be like maybe the gloves and or like earring pieces, not the entire suit. Ooh, it's a little too much for me. I think with some modifications to the memory addresses, you can play these stages as other characters. So I don't think this is nothing new that we're seeing here, like with Lilac and Carol in Mila stage and vice versa. But it's, again, something pretty hard that most people aren't going to be going out of their way to do. I don't know why you can go over here, by the way. Because there's never anything hidden there, like no treasure or no hidden card or anything like that. Just kind of an area you can go to just because. Oh, I can break those without... Wait a minute. Does that mean that's a boss skip? Oh, crap. I gotta go back. I need to see if we can just skip that fight entirely, because that is not normally something you're able to test. And now I need to know. Okay, but first things first, I gotta take off this pink outfit, because holy, it's too much. Let's change it to something else. Oh, that orange I don't think is gonna be any better, but you know what? Let's try it. Construction worker orange. Oh god, I wasn't far off. It's almost like a gold, actually, more than anything else. Having the infinite cyclone like that is kind of busted. Because I can use that immediately into a dragon boost. And normally you can't do that because of how much the dragon boost and the cyclone both cost to use. Because you need a full meter for a dragon boost. Cyclone alone could take up about a fourth of your meter if you're not careful. If this switch was down near the door, I wouldn't even have to fight this guy. But alas, it's not the case. Yeah, orange and this purple don't go together. Yeah, 100%. I'm guessing Lilac's that person that doesn't really have that fashion bone. She's that one that thinks this looks good when it's definitely the clashing outfits. Alright, here we go. This is the part. Oh, you can't break the wall. That only worked after the fight was done. That's a tease. Makes you think that Lilac could just skip this fight entirely because of her Dragon Boost, but no, doesn't work that way. Yeah, because it only weakens the wall after the fact. Man, that's just like, it's such a close thing. The Dragon Boost is pretty powerful. It does a lot of damage. And it looked like I was just destroying that wall, but I didn't see the cracks at first. Actually, I think I could do this. Maybe. Maybe you could just barely time this. But it's not worth it. That room actually wasn't that bad because you get a lot of momentum just from doing a cyclone off a spring. Which I worked the same way in 2, because I feel like it's kind of nerfed. But yeah, like this game almost feels like you get infinite height. Like you go really high when you do a cyclone boost. Have to wait for the platform to catch back up for the boss to spawn. Wow. I think I've screwed him up too, because his head's inside of his body. Okay. His head's inside of his body a bit. Gee, it's like a boss that was never designed for both Carol and Lilac. It's horrible to fight as Carol and Lilac. Who would have guessed? This thing is really awkward to hit. Unless I wait for him to come over to where I'm at in the middle of the platform, I have to do that. And that fight would take probably a good 3 to 4 minutes if I wait for him to come to me. That's not worth it. Alright, let's play some more Spade. I haven't given Spade enough time in the sun yet.
Smart move.
Alright, well, I'm done with Aqua Tunnel. God, I just played that stage enough. Let's think. What's another stage would be? How would he fight the final boss? I'm curious how this would work for both Torque and Spade. Oh yeah, this is gonna suck because of my dashes. They happen so fast, and they have a fixed angle to them. I gotta be careful where I'm launching from. Alright, it wasn't as bad. Just take it a little bit slower. I didn't get the light, but oh no. Okay, fine. I have the infinite revive mechanic. Oh god. I knew it. It's gonna revive me back into the stupid laser. If I just sit here for a minute. Now. Get played. That's one thing I don't miss about this game in particular. These enemies in the very end of the final Dreadnought levels that can just chip your health down from full to nothing in like 2 seconds. Those were just overtuned in Freedom Planet 1. Glad I never returned for 2. That's a nice freeze frame. Who are you? Don't worry about it. I'm just here now. Because this guy is never supposed to fight in the final fight at all. He wasn't even playing for anything else in 2 stages at one point. Who knows where Spade would have been playable? I don't think he would have been fighting Brevin. Something tells me he would have stopped before this part. Now I wonder, is this the full fight, or is it Mila's version of the fight, which is just 2 phases? Because Lilac and Carol have 3. Music will tell me everything. Three phases. We're not into the actual final boss music yet, which tells me there's another phase. Wow, surprisingly, Spade feels pretty good to fight Brevin at this stage. Although, we're not past the worst of it yet, because the final fight is the worst of it. I can actually see how much damage I'm doing with the cards. The only boss in the game for some reason that has a health bar. Nice aerial shot, buddy. Nah, I was trying to play it slow and steady on that one. Alright, well, I almost got him without reviving. That's really good. Especially for a character I've only played in 2 stages in my entire life. That was actually pretty impressive. So if anything's to go by with that fight, Torque is also going to have all 3 phases as well. Milo will be the only one that skips fighting Brevin hand to hand. So let's try it. What outfit do we want? Actually, can I go green the green? Because that, I wonder how it's going to look on Torque. Alright, weapon choice here is everything. Because of how that final fight's going to go. I think I want a spread shot. That would be important. This will do a lot of damage on phase 3, so that'd be good. And I think I want bubble. Alright, this should be good. But, you know what we gotta do. And you know what, for once, I'm gonna use an actual button instead of OBS itself. Every time, man. That gets me every time. Alright, yeah, the green's kind of weird. It's not the same green as his skin or fur, whatever it's supposed to be. I would think skin because he's supposed to be a turtle, but then the hair is the same color and it flows in the wind. So it's kind of a 50-50 if it's hair or fur or skin. Like, I don't know, man. I'm gonna call it skin. Oh yeah, this section's gonna be easy. I almost forgot, we can infinitely fly with Torque. We have an easy mode. Like, you don't need to try. Oh, the laser section in the second half of the stage is also going to be pretty free. You just have to be careful not to be in the center for too long. But we can just fly through the whole thing. Don't need the platform. Alright, seriously. At least it's funny to hear the multi-damage sound, but it's still annoying. Oh god. I went too early. Too early. I gotta stop doing that.
Gotta continue the mission.
Yeah, this is the part I wasn't worried about at all, because I can literally just fly. This just feels like a thematical fight because Brevin is actually here because of Torque. This just feels like a fitting plot point. Okay, maybe Bubble was not the best idea for this fight. I gotta be careful too, because I don't have that much ammo on these weapons. Nope. Wow, okay. Torque didn't even get past phase 1 when having the revive. And of course, it was like 3 shots away from death, so that actually was just the worst time to die. He will die eventually. I do get some cheap shots in, so that's actually a good idea. Wasn't just a meme. I think my standard pea shooter might be the best weapon to use here. Huh, didn't know that was a safe spot. How do I do better with this with cards instead of actual gunplay? Come on. I mean, I'm being a little reckless, so that's not helping. Dude, that did so much health. I'm glad I got the little fire buster. I think it's doing chip damage too, which is also helping. Oh, I'm out. Nice shot. Alright. I did better with the cards than I did with the actual guns. I'm shocked on that one, but somehow it was easier to dodge things with Spade. But I also got a reckless mentality with the weapons for Torque, so that didn't help.
You've pestered me long enough.
Oh, this is new. Oh, I wish I had that for the game. That would have been sick. Okay. So I'm looking forward for a Torque story mode now. Just because of how that ended. That's a nice sneak peek. He just blows Brevin to oblivion. Definitely gonna keep tabs on this mod for its eventual story playthrough for Torque, because that was amazing. Unfortunately, it's not out yet. I don't know if there's any other stages that are worth trying. I wonder... It was Final Dreadnought 3, right? Yeah, it was 3. I want to try this with Spade and Torque, because this is where Mila is supposed to get taken over by Brevin. So I think this is where it'd be a good idea to try if there's a different outcome for these two characters. I think I'm gonna try these. 2 fires and a metal. Alright, you know what time it is. Every time we gotta crank the decibels too. Can't help. Yeah, in terms of story plot, I'm actually wondering how this would work for Torque, because once he gets both Torque and Lilac, once they get to a certain part in the stage, that's when Mila gets attacked, and I believe Torque is supposed to take Mila out of here. So how's this gonna work for the ending, is what I want to know. Like, how is the stage gonna end? I love Infinite Flight. So broken. Oh, come on. I outran the laser. I forgot you can do that in that section because of the boost pads. Whole speed platform, we just fly. Which one do you choose? Activates jet boosters. That section is normally cool though, so I am kind of sad I kind of bypassed Ultra Challenge. Alright, here's where the boss fight for Mila should be. I believe this is where you actually do get to play through the stage with the Torque build on Steam. I think there is a fight here still. I'm just curious if the mod changes anything. This much flamethrower? I don't even need to try. I'll just burn you.
Done. Mila. Brevin!
Alright, so he does curse out Brevin, that's how he chases after, hence how the story should go once his adventure mode comes out. I don't think he said anything in the original beta build of that, not 100% sure. Let me listen back really quick, because I don't remember that. I think he just leaves the battle after the fact. I have the VOD, I'll just look. Oh, I also remember struggling on this with the retail build too, not just the mod. Oh no, that line was in the game. What he said in general was still in the game at the time. Okay. So, outside of the ending specific section in Final Dreadnought 4, it seems like everything else so far was just pulled from the actual retail code. Spade, on the other hand, he's the wild card that I'm not 100% sure of, so let's go find out. It's interesting specifically look at Final Dreadnought 3 and 4 because these actually have story cutscenes in them, both for Classic and Adventure. So it'd be actually interesting to see how these characters interact with things because, at least with Spade, we know for a fact he never appears in Final Dreadnought. Story reasons, like he's with the gang right before they take off in Battle Glacier, but he doesn't go with them. So he shouldn't even be here. Like, in terms of story, this guy does almost nothing. He's just kind of here at times, just to kind of be a nuisance, and then last second helps out. He has more of a plot in the sequel, Freedom Planet 2, than 1, if you want to be honest. The biggest thing of plot was when you're playing as Carol and Mila, and you go through the hideout. And even then, not much there. Nice boost. Let's try that again. I actually made it here before the music cut out. Okay, that was more impressive than I thought. Got here faster than Torque.
Huh?
Okay, so he has the same play out against Mila, which this, in terms of plot, makes absolutely no sense. Because again, Spade never gets on board the Final Dreadnought with the crew. So I do wonder, once we beat Mila, I'm going to turn up the audio so we can hear if he says anything. Because the line for Torque's the same, but Spade, either he's going to say nothing, or he's going to have custom dialogue for this. You know, when I first played this game back in like 2014, 2015, I never understood what the heck this form was. Like, what did Brevin do to Mila to get to this by just, like, slicing her with a sword? Play Freedom Planet 2, and this starts making a little bit more sense based on some new story we got about Mila. Like, in context now of what we know, this form makes more sense now. But back when the game came out, no. This was like a weird pull out of nowhere.
It's not over yet.
There we go. All right, let's hear what he says. I'm gonna turn it up. was a whole lot of nothing. He just scoffs at her. Alright, that feels like a Spade thing to do. Because he is kind of the asshole character of this specific plot. He's just kind of here and always giving us trouble. So that kind of fits. Yeah, why was Mila like that? In this game, I don't know. Because she gets sliced by Brevin's sword. But again, play Freedom Planet 2. Near the end of the story, they drop a bombshell about Mila. I don't want to say what it is for the people who haven't played it. It's worth playing just because you get a lot of lore about Mila specifically in Freedom Planet 2. So, play that and you kind of understand the weird demonic form she takes on at the end of Final Dreadnought 3 a little bit more. Not fully, but it gives at least some context. Alright, but now, I think I'm going to play through the game via Adventure and Classic here. We can play either one, but obviously Torque and Spade are both not playable here. That's why I want to just play through stages with those two in the level select. I go back over the Classic here again. Again, it's just the main three here in particular. Can't play any of their custom colors, which I hope that's a thing they put in an update at some point here too. That'd be pretty nice to play through the whole game. At least with Classic mode. I get why Adventure. It'd be a little weird to do custom colors for that. But Adventure mode, that could be the one where you have default skins. Classic though, I'd love custom skins. That'd be cool. But I'm gonna play through, I think, the whole game with Lilac in Classic, just to kind of play through the whole game in one sitting here. But before I do that, I'm gonna use this opportunity to take a quick break, get up and stretch. Recommend you do the same. So with that said, I'm gonna take a few minute break, and when we come back, we'll play through Freedom Planet Plus here via the Classic mode. Who's it gonna be? Come back and find out. Stay tuned, be back in just a few minutes. Alright, we're back. We're gonna go ahead now and jump into one of the Classic mode campaigns here with either Lilac, Carol, or Mila. As those are the only three characters available. We can go through a whole story mode, but I don't really think it's worth doing that, because the story and the Classic mode specifically aren't gonna play any different. I just wanted to play Freedom Planet 1 at this point. Pretty much what this is. So, I'm gonna go into the options and the mod settings in particular. And at this point, we'll turn on these max runs, even though I'm not gonna be using Spade for obvious reasons. I'm not using Carol either. Let's also turn on Infinite Lives, since now going through a campaign, this will actually help. Might not need it, because I'm actually gonna play through on the hard mode. This is why I did Infinite Lives, so we can just restart when we die from a boss and just continue from there. So, there are differences in each, well, difficulty, obviously. Casual, you refill health, and you don't really take much damage at all from enemies. Easy mode, you barely take any damage, kind of like casual, but your health doesn't refill. Casual's the only one it refills on. Normal, obviously the most balanced difficulty of the game. You've seen how that works as time attack uses normal. Hard, you take basically double damage from every single enemy. It is pretty rough. So, playing with Infinite Lives and the revive mechanic won't be that bad. So let's select hard, and let's go to Classic, as I'm going to play through the whole game with Lilac in particular. I think she'll be the best pick because of her Infinite Cyclone. That's a brand new mechanic in particular, so if I'm going to play through the whole game as someone, might as well play through it as someone who actually has a modification. Plus, of the three, Lilac is my favorite one to play as. She legitimately is a joy to play. As someone who's played a lot of Sonic games, it's not too much of a surprise. She's the Sonic of this specific title. It makes sense, because this game originally was made as a Sonic fan game, which became something a lot more than just that. And I'm glad it did. It needed its own identity. Can't think of how many times I've played through this game though as Lilac, so going through here is just kind of like muscle memory at this point. I can easily just do a lot of this without even paying attention or really focusing on the game, as you just saw there with a skip. I'm looking dead at right in the camera. Like, I've done that plenty of times in my life. You know, I don't need it. I'm gonna grab the shield anyways, because it's right here. Definitely, Cyclone makes a lot of these jumps way simpler to make. Normally, I'd be doing Cyclone management. But I don't need to do that here because infinite. This is another thing I think that is actually different in hard mode, but it's like, I don't know if there's much documentation about hard mode in this game or not, or just the difficulties in general. I figured out a lot of this stuff just by playing each difficulty. But I believe enemies also take more damage too. The only real way to actually see is either count the attacks for certain enemies, or get the Final Dreadnought 4 where you actually have a health bar, and you can see how much health you're draining from the final boss in the game in particular. Thankfully, you can change your files at any given time on the file select between difficulties, so for testing, just go to Final Dreadnought 4 on a file that's already completed, and you can just change it to hard. It's good this game, though, just, like, works straight with the vanilla game save file, in particular. Just being able to play classic mode immediately without having to beat a campaign is nice. The story in both in this game and 2 is, you know, pretty good story. It's just, if you're gonna replay it, you don't really want to be playing story mode stuff. You want to just jump into the action. That skip is so much easier in Infinite Cyclone. That takes me a couple of tries normally, but here is second try. Alright. No boss. We're just leaving. That's such a big time save, too, because that saves, like, what, a minute? That boss is a pretty long fight. It's a pretty big save. There's a couple tricks I know in this game still. That's one of them. There's another one in this stage in particular I'll be showing off. The underside, because this is actually faster to start down here first. There's a big skip we're gonna do here when we're done, but it only happens when you're done with this section. I think I remember I showed the skip here in question that I'm gonna be doing here in a second. I think I remember showing that on my Steam Deck review. It's hard to remember what clips I've actually used in that video and which ones I didn't, because there were a lot of things that I make the cutting before. But I believe I showed this zip. But I tell you to go back, but I just say screw that noise. You just do this. Patched? Oh my god, did they actually patch it? This feels a lot harder to get inside of the wall. I think they did. That pushed me down. Huh. They did say in the mod notes that there were certain things that were fixed in the game. Why would you fix this? This is funny. Okay, no, I was just bad. I was gonna say, don't fix that. That one's good. It lets you walk through this wall. This wall hasn't loaded yet. Kill this guy. And once he's dead, restart, which will take me back to the previous checkpoint, which puts me right here. And it's very convenient because this is where I'm supposed to be. Now the door's unlocked. I was really confused, like why would they patch that of all things? I know there are certain things that they did have to fix in the game for compatibility with speed and torque, but that zip shouldn't have been one of them. I would have been sad that zip was patched. Oh, also this section I kind of rushed through. I wasn't supposed to do that. I gotta show the alternate way. Instead of fighting the guy, I'm gonna do the quick kill. Yeah, that vertical zip I think was one of the first ones that was found in the game, because there's a couple vertical zips like that. That's not the only one. That's the only one I know how to do consistently. Because there's also one in... which stage was it again? I think it was in... I can't remember the name of it right now. Well, there's one I think in Fortune. Maybe with Mila. Can we want to call it Aqua Tunnel? But that is not Aqua Tunnel I'm thinking of. My brain is completely farting on the other underwater theme stage in this game. It sucks because it's one of my favorite songs. I'll probably bring it up again when we're there, because I legit can't think right now. I've just been kind of like that in general this like past couple of weeks. Probably because of all the stress. God, it's been a year. Can we just get a refund on the year, please? That'd be great. Game defective. You might actually be able to do a zip there as well, but it'd be such a minor one, it doesn't really do anything. Those platforms in general, if you can move a wall and jump back into it, there's a good chance you can use it for a zip. It's just a lot of it I think is pretty unnecessary and doesn't really do much in the grand scheme, so they can be like party tricks at best. Oh yeah, let me get the life. Infinite lives, remember buddy? You're at 99. You'll never need a life again. Actually, is this another one you can do? Zip on, I can't remember. No, that one just kills you. Okay. So that I couldn't remember. Because a lot of those platforms, again, if you can jump in the middle of a staircase when it's moving, there's a good chance you could probably zip it. I didn't mean to leave yet. Boosting is a fast way to kill this little chicken, but not if it makes me leave the room. Nothing else to do, might as well sit. Definitely get some health here because this is hard mode. You gotta remember that. It doesn't feel like it until you get to a boss fight. Actually, I could probably just infinite climb this. This is a Carol only section up here, but doesn't stop me from getting up to the side. There is no point. They both lead to the same spot. You can do that in the vanilla game too, because if you bounce off a wall with Dragon Boost, but you also hold the jump button, then you get that momentum that you're seeing that I'm getting to... I didn't have a full charge boost. You're seeing that momentum getting bouncing off the wall, but then your meter refills, so you can do it again. That's how you can scale any wall in this game. This guy's pretty easy with Lilac in particular. Doesn't mean he doesn't hurt though. Oh, I missed my boost. That's why I didn't get all of the gems here. That helps get my meter back up to full. But yeah, when he does his roar, attack the arms. He's very vulnerable during that roar. I'm gonna get the health for safety. There you go. There's enough health in the fight too, because I can take like 2 more hits at most. Now the Freedom Planet crew would handle Chrono Gear levels. I think probably in a similar way. Honestly, because when I played Chrono Gear, a lot of those levels felt like Freedom Planet 1 levels in particular. You can see a lot of the same developer mentality, which makes sense with it being the same lead head dev. Now imagine if there were zips in that game, that'd be insane. I don't know if there are or not, I haven't seen a speedrun. So, for all I know, there probably is. Dude, that's just so redundant now they get an extra life out of the crystals, because there's no point. I have infinite lives. I missed a shield for a second. Thank goodness I didn't. I gotta kill this guy in a very specific spot. He needs to be back here more. I think that was it. Ah, no, it's too late, too late. Or too early, actually. Let me try it again. That's a huge skip if I can get that down. I'm trying to see if I can get the timing. I've done this before, but it's been years. Don't kill it yet. I need to have, once again, the thing needs to be back here. No, 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 no. Where am I? That's not gonna work, but I actually got clipped into the loading zone, which that's a new one. I didn't know you can get pushed through it. That doesn't count for an attempt trying to skip half the level. Because that's what I'm trying to do. That doesn't count. Okay, I don't remember the timing. I don't even know if that would work in this mod. Depends on how they fix things. If the other zip worked, then that should still work. But there is a weird mechanic thing you can do here in particular that lets you kind of manipulate the restart checkpoint. It's just not working for me, so I don't know the timing. If you kill that truck near the loading zone and then bounce off of it like Lilac's Dragon Boost, and then restart at the right time, and actually just warps you halfway through this section for some reason. It puts you near the end of it. Don't know why that happens. It's just like a very weird, like, loading mishmash. It's something to do with the player's coordinates being messed up. I'm gonna catch up in chat here in just a minute. Notice the ads are running on Twitch, so I'm gonna let them run before I start any dialogue stuff, because then they're off for an hour. Yeah, that zip would have put you pretty much at that section I just ran through. For some reason. Again, it has to do with the player coordinates getting messed up. Get juggled, idiot. Easy. Just juggle him with your Dragon Boost. Easy. Escalators has some weird hitboxes, man. I swear, sometimes I try to jump on it, and I just walk through the thing. The dance don't give me time to catch up with the chat. Love this animation. It's the only level you can see the dancing animations for the characters. I wonder if these are also for Spade and Torque. I think there's one for Torque, because this was a playable level. I'm not sure about Spade. This also wasn't playable. I think they might have had the animation. I can't remember. We'll check out the mod before I'm done. Alright, let me see what you said here before. You haven't seen zips in the run, but you do something similar by binding a second button on jump. Before you get the tech, but it lets you jump really high. I've heard of things like that before in other games. So what you're saying about Chrono Gear is something I've seen. It's like some weird double mapping issue that games can have sometimes, which can work on the player's benefit. So having two jump buttons make you jump higher, that's kind of like a side effect of how the jump mechanic works, I guess. Hang on, I gotta use the bathroom. Ah, peaceful. But that didn't have, you know, any paper to dry your hands on, so I'm gonna go in the men's room. Oh, that's right, it's the men's room, not allowed in. Always like that attention to detail. You can go in both bathrooms, but you get kicked out of the men's. I think if you're playing a Spade or Torque, it's the other way around. That is so weird to do a Dragon Boost have a full height cyclone like that, because that's not possible in the retail game. Alright, back to full health. Perfect timing. Now it's time for the boss fight. This is definitely one of the biggest callbacks to Gunstar Heroes, just because this plays like 7 Force. At least in terms of its theme, it's kind of like 7 Force from Gunstar, like the chasing version of it specifically. That's such a good game. I gotta like play it again at some point. I remember that was like one of my very first playthroughs years ago on my YouTube channel. I played the game via the PlayStation 3 version with Matt as a co-op playthrough. And that was probably a bad idea, because that version had some issues when it came to co-op. It was an interesting playthrough, to be fair, but that version in particular, in hindsight, maybe should have just waited for a better Genesis version online to play, because that had some board co-op continues. Although nowadays, I think it's on NSO, so you can just play through that service. Just good luck trying to get a stable connection with NSO. Got fiber internet, and NSO online is still a hot mess for retro games. Has nothing to do with the internet, it's just their servers being non-existent. There used to also be that Sega Genesis collection that was on modern systems, but that got pulled a few years back. There's still not a new one, surprisingly. When Sega pulled the Genesis Mega Drive collections that was on like PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC, we all thought they were going to replace that. They didn't. There's just no Genesis collection now in retail stores. That's kind of weird. To delist a collection, not to make another one, is very abnormal for Sega, because when they do delist stuff, they usually have it replaced with others. And right now, the only things that got replaced were the Sonic games. All the other Genesis games are just like MIA, for some reason. Like, what's been going on with Sega with their retro stuff as of late has been beyond me. Anyone remember that retro initiative they announced like almost 3 years ago at this point? Where they were like bringing back a whole bunch of different games, like Crazy Taxi and Shinobi and stuff like that. We've only seen some of them come back, like Shinobi was the one. Crazy Taxi still MIA. Golden Axe, I think, was another one that was announced that's MIA. When are we gonna even mention them again is beyond me. I don't know, Sega's been kind of weird when it comes to the retro library at the moment. They've been good with the modern stuff, but the retro stuff has been kind of absent for some bizarre reason. Oh yeah, you're supposed to destroy the cannons here. But you don't have to with Lilac, you could just fly. Torque would probably be able to do that too with Infinite Flight, because he's just broken as we learn in this playthrough. But yeah, I'm so glad years ago I bought that Genesis collection on PC in particular. Didn't think they were ever going to delist it. That felt like the forever version of a lot of those games, but now I guess it's just put them on NSO once every blue moon, and that's about it for Genesis love, I guess. Haven't seen anything in a while. I bought that collection on Steam for like $3, and that gave me 50 games. That was the best $3 I think I've ever spent. Hey look, new playable character. Spade's pretty hard to fight. Just in general. Doesn't matter what character you're using against him, including himself, apparently. He's just a hard fight. So I do expect losing here. That's why I have the infinite continues. My best strategy is usually waiting for the Cyclone boost to recharge and just using that. So that made up for the life that we definitely didn't lose because of infinite lives. I don't even think I needed to boost that. I think just hovering would have made the jump. Because that was actually really close. This is an achievement in the game, so skipping the plane at the very end for destroying these cannons, that is technically something that you need to do if you want all achievements in this. And can I just talk about that for a second too? Like, that's another like side tangent thing, but I played this game deaf. This is pretty much side tangent the mode for me. Like, we're talking about whatever. This game has its own built-in achievements, and on the PC version in particular, the in-game achievements are also the Steam achievements. They're one and the same. But for some weird reason, starting with the PlayStation 4 version, the achievements on console are like every 10 achievements you get an achievement, instead of just being one-to-one what the achievements are in the game. Why was that changed? It doesn't make any sense, because they could have just ported over the Steam achievements. No extra work would have been needed. You already had descriptions in the game with a built-in achievement system, and you're tying the in-game trophies to the in-game achievement system. It just felt like a very weird decision to me. I've gotten all the achievements in this before, but I've gotten them only on PC. I want to do that at some point on the PlayStation as well. I can't remember if this has a platinum on the PlayStation 4 or not. But still something I just want to do at some point. Probably shouldn't have boosted. You're best off not boosting this fight, because then you can just Cyclone up. Just like this. Oh. Well, this just doesn't work now. I didn't know that. Alright, we're at full health, so I don't need to do anything here. These cannons are just never getting destroyed, which is the whole purpose of us jumping between ships. So, oops. I'm sorry, guys. But the cannons are still active. See, they're off. Don't worry about it. They're not firing. They just think they're destroyed. But the enemy doesn't realize that they can still use them. Does Sony not like trophies are the same as achievements from Xbox or Steam, or just way to simplify level achievements? It might be the latter in particular. I don't know if it has anything to do with Sony in particular. It could for all I know, but I haven't heard anything about Sony being mad if an achievement is the same on like one platform or another. Every system usually has the exact same level of achievements between games. I've never seen that where a game had a different level of achievements on one system because of a mandate. It's usually a developer or a publisher design choice. So I'm thinking it's just more how they wanted to simplify the system, because Galaxy tried how to put in achievements for this game when porting it over to the PlayStation. So for the trophy system, they just probably wanted to take the easier way out and just link it up for every 10 achievements or so you get an achievement in your PlayStation account instead. But again, I can't remember if it has a platinum. I want to look that up. I don't think it has a platinum on the PlayStation, so getting all the achievements in that game doesn't give you anything specific. It just gives you the stuff you get for unlocking achievements in Freedom Planet itself. Because the thing is, unlocking everything in Freedom Planet is also tied to the achievement system. So you actually do need to do all achievements to get everything in the game. It's one of the very few games where 100% also includes achievements. Now, I'm gonna look it up. Because I don't think this had a platinum, if I remember correctly. Yeah, no, it only has a gold. Yeah, because you get trophies based on the badges you get in the game, which is basically how many different achievements you unlock. So, just to show it, where's the browser feed? Here we go. So, this is the list of all the trophies in the game. It's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 only. And they're all tied to just getting all the different achievements in the game itself based on the badges. It's really weird. And I think this was just because we had to fill out the slots, because I haven't really seen any PlayStation game launch without trophies since the PlayStation 3 first came out. So this felt like, instead of just copying and pasting the stuff from Steam, we'll just make new ones here, but also we're not gonna actually make new trophies. We're just gonna make a variance of what we had. I like the names of some of them, like Hero Pants of Freedom. That's pretty good. Galaxy Trail War for Persistence and Pants Collection, because it's just collecting a bunch of pants. Like, they're clever names. It's just kind of a moot trophy list, because barely anything here. So if you do care about achievements, I guess this is not the game for you. At least for trophy collection on PlayStation. Yeah, the Sony doesn't, at least now, because when the PlayStation 3 first came out, they didn't even have trophies yet, but I think, what was it, 2007 or 2008 they introduced? I think it was 2007 they introduced the trophy system on PlayStation. And then ever since, they have required trophies. I didn't know they required it specifically for at least paid games, so free-to-play games get away with that. I didn't know it was a specific mandate only for the paid software. Yeah, that's kind of funny how Deltarune launched free to play, and then when it became a paid game later, they had to go back and make achievements for it. That kind of sucks. Did it already have achievements on, like, Steam? Because if so, I would hope for their sake they just use those. It's less work. Ah, crap. They made the full jump. Well, I should just do this. There we go. Aware of. So if that's the case, they might have just had to make a set of achievements from scratch at one point, which is kind of annoying. I know some devs don't care for trophies or achievements in general because it's just extra work for a thing that you can only get once in a game. Because that's always been a thing that bugs me in games. I would love to do an all achievement run of like certain games, but it's just kind of hard to do that since you only get achievements once in a game unless you make a new profile. So it just feels like a one and done thing, and some games even have that in mind. Like the first game I think of is Deadpool. That game in particular played with the idea of the trophy and achievement system, where it was actually in the game's plot. You would just be in Deadpool's living room and he would just randomly say, oh, here's a thing that just happens now. Well, here, have another freebie. And there's just like a couple achievements that pop just for you turning on the game. They wrote it into the story, and without achievements popping, that moment feels very moot. So it's like a thing, like if you're playing on PC, this is the real problem, because you can just make a new profile on like Xbox or PlayStation. You can't on a PC. Not in the same way. It's a lot more of a headache. You think it's bad making a new Microsoft account to play games on Xbox? Because it is. Imagine doing that for Steam games to get the achievements again, because you gotta keep on making new Steam accounts. And that's just a mess. Nice, I made it. I was worried I was gonna miss that jump. Does not have achievements on Steam, and there's no Xbox port, so it's just the PlayStation with trophies. Wow, that's kind of stupid. I don't know if they would even care to add those same trophies onto the Steam version. From the sounds of things, if they haven't done it yet, they probably don't care. And I don't blame Toby Fox for not caring for that reason. Again, some devs like achievements, some don't. It's a very fair argument of should you have achievements in a game or not. Because sometimes they really don't add anything to a game. I know if I'm fast enough here, you can actually defeat Nira without her spawning in any shields at all. I'm just not that good. I think I've done it like here and there, between phases. I think it's also possible to go through the whole fight without ever using a shield. Yeah, there we go. That was a shield skip right there. It's not easy to do because you gotta do a lot of damage really fast. And in hard mode, that's a lot harder because of the damage differences. I need a shield though, just be safe. No matter how much damage things do to me, this is always a guaranteed 2-hit saver. Because whatever I do, don't get a fire shield in this stage because it will instantly get disintegrated in water, so there's no point. Trophies are very simple. Get hurt X amount of times per chapter, each chapter without issue. Okay, so it's the same idea as how this game handled it, where it's just, we'll give you, oh no, that's only 1 hit. Oh, I thought it was 2. Well, I just take double damage, that's why. It's the same idea as this, where you do X thing, we'll just like, give you some freebie achievements here and there, but it's something simple so we don't have to put too much thought into it. Which is completely understandable. Although, I gotta say, shoutouts to the retro gaming scene because of retro achievements in general existing. Not even just existing, but just some of the things that have actually been made into an achievement for retro games. It's just like, that's a lot of dedication for fans. I want to do a retro achievement run of a game at some point because it's just a cool idea, and it's something I kind of want to experiment with. I don't know what game I would start with, honestly. But you know that thing I talked about before? Getting achievements is kind of annoying for replay because you can only pop them once on an account. Can developers take note for these consoles with PlayStation and Xbox? Can they take note of what Retro Achievements does? You can reset the progress on a specific game set of achievements on Retro Achievements. That's huge. You don't have to make a new profile just to do an achievement run again. Can we have that for PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, like all these platforms? That'd be great. Get juggled, idiot. Hey, we were here before. Previous stage. I didn't mean to actually do that yet. That was a really bad time to pop that. Oh, hang on. I gotta go over here. Keep on following me. He never gets the idea of actually trying to lure him over to a wall for a quick kill. Get him, Carol. Just comes in, just, I guess, with the nitro boost activated on the bike, because that was extremely fast. And this is where, if we were playing the story mode, things go dark real fast. Not to mention just here, the dynamic between these three just kind of falls apart. This is where in the story, we have the, I'm fighting because why not, arc between characters. Like, we all just have disagreements. Oh good, an extra life. I definitely need more of those. Looks at 99. This was the enter stage I was thinking of earlier on. We were talking about zips. Terminal Base has a zip you can do with Mila because she can pick up boxes. So she can use that to push herself in between like the ceiling and a box and just like fly up. You can't do that with the other characters here because you can't pick things up.
Intrusion detected. Please remove yourself from the facility.
Although I really do like this stage. Like, it's one of my favorite themes in the game, for one. This song is really good. I remember, I don't know what it was, but years ago, I actually used this specific stage I think it was because of how much I liked it in particular, so it was fun to replay. But I remember using this stage for a capture card test, because this was back like, what, 2016, while I was like working through a whole bunch of different capture cards, because they constantly had problems. Because I remember trying to upgrade my capture card so I could do 1080p 60 FPS capture, because that was such a big deal in 2016 for me. And I remember using this stage in particular to just like run through real quick and test out all these different cards I was getting. I remember I went through like 4 different cards before I finally found one that didn't just drop frames randomly. And it was on a brand new PC, so I knew it wasn't my hardware. It's just something about the cards being funky. It's all software, man. It's always software that limits a product. Because, man, I'm hearing that a lot this week. Or this past couple weeks. With the new Elgato hardware in general. It's been a roller coaster for that stinking company, man. They got a lot of cool new audio gear that just released. Like, a lot of it was mainly revisions of, like, the stuff that's already out, like Mark IIs. But they also just dropped that Elgato Wave software proper now. So, Wavelink 3.0 is, like, actually out. It's not in beta anymore, so... The software is completely free to use. I've been using it for a few months. It's been fantastic for just routing my mics through and actually applying post-processing on the fly. But oh dear God, are so many people having problems. I'm shocked I'm not having as many problems as other people have, but it sounds like the software launched sooner than it probably should have, because people are complaining about the software actually just flat out not working. Not to mention, I've been hearing shipping delays, as well as new, like, audio hardware in particular. Like, there is, what is it, like, new Elgato Wave mic, the Wave XLR got an update, new Stream Deck Plus attachment, that also got an update. This stuff came out in March, and it's not shipping to some people's houses until, like, late April, early May. What is going on there? That is a bad launch. It's like kind of like a paper launch, actually, because the products don't exist, it seems. I feel bad for people who are pre-ordering for that reason, but that's why you don't pre-order a lot of stuff like this from a company. Wait until it goes on to like an Amazon or a Walmart, Best Buy, stuff like that. Pre-ordering right from a company is like a disaster waiting to happen, based on what I've been seeing.
To unlock this door, stand on the blinking floor panel to your
I don't believe you. Don't step on the switch. It's a trap. And that's why. That's one of the switches in general. I could defeat you for extra gems. What's the point in that? An extra life that I don't need? I'm good. Did I not get followed for once? Wow, those robots normally follow me down here, which makes this fight infinitely harder. But that didn't happen this time. I'm shocked. I don't think I have enough health, right? Or not enough health, enough meter. I definitely don't have enough health either. Like how you activate that switch and you're nowhere near it. You walk on the wall next to the switch and that's good enough for it to get triggered. definitely just wanting to take this path. Just play it safe. Gets me away from the enemies. Really? Surprised I didn't kill.
I won't give up.
Oh, I want to see how this works on the retry thing, because that should be the same as getting crushed back in the second stage, right? Yeah, just restart you back at checkpoint regardless. Crushing is the only thing you can't revive from, which, gee, I wonder why. I love how every time I lose one of my lives, I get it back almost immediately. So I guess I didn't really need to do anything with the infinite life setting. Probably could have left it off. Free bonus level, might as well. I think the only stage that's a freebie for some reason. I don't know why it's a freebie here, but it's appreciated. Nice! Just got jammed up in the hole. And the off-screen victory. The only stage in the game you can really do that in that doesn't kill you. There are two stages in particular. You can jump off a pit during the victory result, and if you do that, it does kill you. Oh good, the thing I need with infinite lives, thanks. Dying in the victory results is really bad because it just resets the level from previous checkpoint. In one stage's case, it sets you back halfway through the level. It's really bad. Specifically, that's Final Dreadnought 2. Dying in the victory screen is really bad on that level. Because the other level was Sky Battalion. I believe if you die there, you just redo the final fight. You don't have to do anything extra. Because the checkpoint's right back on the ship. Yeah, because of this mechanic alone, I can see why this stage isn't playable with any of the other characters via this mod. It would have been cool, but I can get why it's not. It'd be kind of impossible outside of Torque, because he's just broken. It'd be impossible for other characters like Mila to get up there or Spade. Carol, probably she can do a lot of this because of wall jumping, but Yeah, Mila would just be kind of screwed here. 100%. And Spade also maybe can make some of these jumps, but most of them no. There's supposed to also be a debug level select that's available during gameplay of this mod too. I don't know how to activate it though. That's like the one thing the mod page doesn't actually tell you about. Don't 100% know that specific combo. It wouldn't really matter too much anyways, because level select is the same as debug level select anyways, in terms of what we can do. I think the only difference would be debug level select would let me jump between different sections at will, instead of just having to play it all out. Oh good. More lives I don't need. You know what I can go for right now? Good helping of health. That or a shield, one of the two. I think I'll go for the health shield because if I'm near anything that has a pedal, it'll just attract it to my body. And I kinda need the health, as we've been discussing. I like how this is like the only section in the whole game that has a choice of every shield type. And then I give you another one here, because why not? And it's gone. Thank you. I love how enemy shots can also activate the shield. By the way, this is the rip bitrate section. No matter what resolution or bitrate you're on, there's just way too many bees. All these bees just destroy videos. It's just impossible to see anything. I remember when I first streamed this game back in 2015. Dear God, that was a lifetime ago. But I remember streaming that. That was like very low internet. I didn't have that much upload at the time. And I also had limitations to work with too when it came to hardware, so I remember streaming 720p 60 FPS, so it's still pretty modest. That section was unwatchable, just in general. The bitrate wasn't high enough for bees. That's just how it is, man. Some games are just like, you need, what, like 20 megabit per second bitrate, otherwise it's just a pixel show, and bees here feel like that specific thing in general. It's almost like the static white noise of Freedom Planet when it comes to the video. Just getting destroyed. Bitrate part 2. How did I go down? Take care of this flower before it kills me. Might as well collect these orbs, because now they actually serve a purpose, because we got the bonus game unlocked. That's so long without health, that's insane. Almost the whole section. It was literally the last screen. Got our health back. Dude, I remember the specific part being a little awkward. The switch is just barely out of reach. So you most likely are gonna need a couple Dragon Boosts to even get to it. Hello, Dragon? There it is. boss is just annoying to fight. I like it as a concept, but I think you're noticing why it's not the best thing to fight. You gotta hit every single one of these weak points on its back. Good luck trying to do that when it's moving to Mach 10. Especially when you're weeding down some of these weak points. You only have a handful left. It feels like those take forever to hit. That's why they keep on giving you a refill of your boost. It feels almost easier just to jump in one spot and use the Cyclone in particular to get more damage out, but no matter what you're doing, this fight takes a bit near the end. I missed every shot. Great. Drag out the inevitable. Okay, I got 2. It's a miracle. Two at a time. There was like a strategy, I think, to do this a lot more efficiently than I'm doing, but I don't remember it. The only thing I remember is just kind of get close to him and then just... Oh no, there we go. That was enough. To get close and just do a Dragon Boost into its tail, and you'll hit a lot, but once you're down a few, it's kind of terrible. That used to be something I can actually use. Nope! That's what we're just leaving. Okay. I was gonna say, can I just restart now? Because I have literally no health. I gotta go through this whole section perfect. That is not feasible. I'm not going through a whole shoot 'em up section with no damage. Oh, this is actually nice because this is also mapped to the analog stick. I like playing this section with a stick. But you have to do one or the other on mapping on PC. So this is so nice that the game just has it auto-mapped already with this mod. This shoot 'em up section is also kind of a random thing, because this is the only level in the game that has a shoot 'em up, and it is also like this for the other characters. It's just you're not on the dragon. You're on the ground with a tank. In level select, you don't even do the shoot 'em up section. This is just a thing you do in Adventure and Classic, which is kind of weird. Don't know why this is not in the time attack mode at all, but at the same time, doing this and then the other half of the stage just to get a good time, yeah, I can see why that's not a thing. Careful, I have like no health when we're near the end of the section. I don't care getting to the end and then dying, but I do care if I get to the very end and die before this warning popped up. That's fine, because now I restart here, so I'll have full health. This thing also doesn't have that much health, too. At least with the dragon. That thing is much harder to fight with tank. Alright, now for the actual level. Battle Glacier. I used to be so good at this stage, but that's because I practiced the crap out of it for a competition. Now I don't remember anything about that route, because that was a decade ago. Dude, the sense of time feels so weird at this point, because it doesn't feel like it was a decade ago since I got into the series, that indie box competition I tried to grind out for this specific level. And just seeing the development history of the sequel just take like 8 years. Or was it? No, it wasn't 8. It felt like 8 though. It was like 7. Because it was announced in 2015 and then Free to Play 2 was in 2022. So that's 7 years. To be fair, it's not the only indie game that had that problem of late, because everyone points out Silksong, because that had a very similar development timeline. In fact, it was longer. Because that was supposed to be just DLC for the first Hollow Knight. So that was announced literally like almost a decade ago, I think, at this point. That was 2017 or 2018, I think they announced that Silksong in particular was shifting over from DLC to a full-blown game. And then from there, we just waited until last year. I still gotta play it, because I have played like a total of 10 minutes of the game. And that was so I can get some shots for both the Steam Deck and the Switch too. And even the original Switch for all those like comparisons I did during the Steam Deck and Switch 2 reviews. So I haven't really played too much. As of late, though, I just haven't been playing too much of anything, but I'm also trying to get back into working on some video stuff because my motivation level's been in the crapper this month. Just this year in general, but especially this month. So I'm trying to at least get back into the swing because I'm out of videos now, and I need to get working on stuff because I recorded the challenge stuff in Pikmin 2. That's my next thing to be posted on the main channel, but it's going to take me a minute to get those videos done because there's like 35 videos or something like that. Oh, no, it was 30. I can't remember how many challenges were even in the stinking game. There's a lot of challenge maps. And they're going to take a bit to edit because of just the constant resets for certain ones. Because if anyone's wondering for that series, yes, we are showing off the true ending of Pikmin 2, which requires you going through that entire mode without losing Pikmin. But I also want to show off all the treasures in every mode because that's a thing that's not very documented. So I went to some real torturous hell recording that series. So the video's gonna take a minute to put together because of that. I think it'll be worth it in the end though. Because again, those Pikmin 2 challenge videos I think will be the only ones out there that are gonna get a perfect run and also show off every treasure you can get in each challenge map. Because that is the stupidest idea. Don't do it. Just don't. I think I even say that in the videos too, like don't even bother. Just get the perfect score by just rushing the specific enemies with keys and then just piecing out. I didn't have enough meter. I tried to just boost my way through that, which would have gave me some iframes. I like fighting right here in particular because this, like, whatever this thing's supposed to be, like drone, spaceship, mech. It's good to fight him near one of the springs, and fighting him in the middle just gives me some extra wiggle room to move. There you go, he's dead. On hard mode, I only died once. Not bad. To be fair, infinite lives, so I got to retry it. This is real hard mode. I would be redoing that fight for like an eternity. Can I get on the platform, please? I wouldn't mind doing like a proper hard mode run of these games on a proper stream at some point for both Freedom Planet 1 and 2. There's a lot of ideas I have in the docket for like streams, and this is definitely one of those set ideas. I kind of now would maybe want to wait until they do Torque and Spade for Classic mode, because then I can play those in hard mode too. And just add that specifically to the docket of stuff. But to be fair, now that the mod's like completed, and it's in a 1.0 state, I can see those specific characters getting a story and a Classic mode sooner rather than later. Because most of the work is already done getting them to work in stages. It's now just a matter of getting certain things to work when it comes to level transitions, and especially for Torque Story, writing that in. That's going to be the hardest part. Torque Story for this mod is the thing I imagine is going to take a hot minute. But the amount of work that goes into something like this already is just something to be very appreciative of. Especially because this whole thing is free. You can get it on IndieGale, which is known for a platform that you can support a lot of indie devs for. But this is not a paid mod. This is free. To be fair, I think I would have raised some red flags making a paid mod of a game that you don't own the rights to. Because I believe Galaxy Trail, they know about Freedom Planet Plus already, but in particular, it's a free mod that doesn't really affect any of their sales. In particular, like, takes away from Freedom Planet's sales. Because I've seen that before with games where they want to make a paid mod. I know, I think I've talked about this before, but paid mods in general are very frowned upon. Because you're using someone else's intellectual property as your own at that point, while getting a profit from it. You can't do that. That's wrong on so many levels. Oh, I forgot to hit the switch again. Yeah, like it here. I gotta save myself from coming down here, but whatever. No, come on. I hate when I hit the switch twice. Now I gotta go back up.
I won't give up.
Wow, that lasted a whole 3 seconds. Like, you really don't keep shields for long at all in hard mode. I love playing this specific section with Hila in particular, because of how she has a completely different ending section here for some reason in Battle Glacier, and she rides on top of one of the robots and uses them as a little bit of a makeshift teleportation. Well, not teleportation, like a little ride.
Chose the wrong side.
Where
Enjoy
am I at?
minutes of your pathetic life.
There I am. I hit the shield for like a second. Ironically, it's kind of hard for me to do my usual strat in this fight because of the infinite cyclone. Gotta keep that in mind so I don't accidentally use it. I need the cyclone in the very end. Wow, that multi-hit. And I got combo by Crab, too.
I won't give up.
Try to boost. Down the time. To be fair, he's pretty much like one hit away from death now. There we go. Just give him a kick to the head. Great way to end it. We never actually do find out what happened to this guy at this point. It wasn't until Freedom Planet 2 we finally got closure about the whole mind control thing going on in this plot. I kind of wish we got a little bit of closure in this game, but at least we got some in the sequel. Alright, now for the final 4 stages of the game. Final Dreadnoughts 1 through 4. These are the hardest levels in the game. To be fair, Battle Glacier was a great sample of that with the mid-boss. That thing was harder than the final boss in the stage, which is kind of backwards. I know Battle Glacier's mid-boss is definitely a roadblock for so many players of this game, because that is legit one of the hardest fights in the entire game. And it's not even the final fight. Legitimately, that fight does suck as Mila in particular, because she has like no health. The only character in the game that only has 4 health bars, essentially. So you only take 8 hits in total with her. Because remember, every petal has 2 things to it, so you get 2 hits per petal. Think of like hearts from like Zelda games, except there's no quarter hearts. There's only half hearts. I want that bonus. This will be our final time probably getting one. Shortcut. Good thing you have the invincibility. I went the wrong way. Thanks for the life when I don't need it. Here's the other boss in the game that's a giant love letter to Gunstar. This is even more of a love letter because this thing actually transforms into multiple forms, just like actual 7 Force. This is gonna hurt when I get up, isn't it? Oh, surprisingly, no. I was curious how that would have worked in this kind of fight, because it pushes me into a laser gate, which does hurt if you run into it. I was kind of worried I was gonna get hit as soon as I got revived and lose like half my health. Although, the revive mechanic's a little buggy in this stage, at least in terms of a graphic. Because now I still have my animation from getting revived after the stage is done. I don't know if that's a thing specific to that stage or just with how fast I killed the boss. Probably the latter. You know, those treasure chests never made sense in the retail game until I played Torque, and then I'm like, ah, I get it now. Because they give you elemental orbs, which has no purpose for the main 3. But then when you realize Torque had the elemental weapons, now you understand why they were in the game. It was an unused element that's still in the game for all the characters to interact with. It just doesn't do anything really for the others outside of refill or health bar. And I think it also contributes to the bonus game. That's why I was getting them before, because it gave me more points in the bonus game, as you saw, which sometimes gives you more of a chance to flip a dice. You get multiple dice have a bonus. At least if I remember that correctly. I gotta be very careful here. Yeah, no health. Got smoked out by poison.
Won't give up.
That section sucks. Like, no matter what difficulty you're playing on, that's just cluttered. Nice.
I won't give up.
Oh, I love this part in particular coming up just because of how Bremen delivers this next line. And I love how you can hear it no matter how you play. This is literally one of my favorite deliveries. Whoever, I can't remember his name, but whoever voiced Bremen, they did a fantastic job. Just giving him that menacing voice. I think it's a little too bassy in hindsight, at least in terms of the recording, but his voice is fantastic.
You're forgetting something important about our troops. They don't need oxygen.
That specific delivery is just super threatening, and I always love hearing that every time I play this game. Just, they don't need oxygen. He just like really stresses it out because he knows you're gonna suffocate, and that's gonna feel so good. But thankfully we get bubble shields, so no problem. Gotta be careful not to get hit now, though, because I kind of need the shield for not just breathing, but also to live. Get a refill, although we took no damage with the thing, so it doesn't matter. No, that still hit me. I'm hoping to keep the shield. I mean, not much longer. We're gonna be in the suffocation part of this level because air is actually right above this elevator shaft. But it would have been nice to have a shield for the boss. Hey, look at all the things I don't need. They give you not 1, but 4 extra lives at the very end. I don't know why. Yeah, this fight's difficult, but why is this the only fight in the game they give you 4 extra lives? They don't even do that for the final boss fight in the game. Kind of strange. It's gonna suck though doing this whole thing with like no health. I'm just gonna take the L immediately to get that health back. That's an actual death because of the fact that if we fall down a void or get crushed, we do get started back at a checkpoint. I guess we full health at least. I almost did it again. I remember the strategy for this guy actually is get him near the ledge and then just jump back and forth between it. Like this. Because if you time it right, then he can shoot on the right, and then you can jump off the left to protect yourself. Like that. And it also works on the other side, too. Don't fall down a pit here, by the way. Remember that thing I talked about earlier? I can't remember what stage it was now. But in this level in particular, if you fall down during the victory result, it will restart you at the last known entry point in the stage, which is halfway through this level. You'll be put back in the part where Brevin talks about turning off the oxygen. It's that far back. Don't fall there. It sucks so much to lose that much time. Ask me how I know. I'll just wait here. That was why.
I won't give up.
Die by accident there. I don't remember if it was an accident or it was on purpose. Because I remember messing with some levels when it came to the restart glitch. Where sometimes it would put you in a different state when you restart a checkpoint. I think I might have done that one on purpose to see what happens, and I saw it was halfway through the stage. And I was a little upset. I can't remember if I did that during a classic run or in like time trial, but it was pretty punishing. A little too close for comfort there. I don't know why I did that actually. That was just redundant. How did I not put in the key? Hello? Got my angle wrong. Supposed to shoot like from here if I went through the speed strat. Well, now only if I get moved. Thanks, buddy. Go. Or not. Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna... not. I'm having a hard time with this section, to be on me.
I won't give up.
I'm just wall climbing. I don't care. Past the point of caring when I die to that stupid idiot. Now, give me the health. Reset me back up to a good spot. And let's get out of here. This fight sucks on hard. There's really not much you can do to avoid some of Mila's attacks if you don't have your Dragon Boost charged. So you're gonna need to play around keeping that thing filled for when she starts raining down with attacks. It's mainly when she's like going berserk and just rushing you with attacks. That's when you really need to have that Dragon Boost on standby to play it safe. Now this attack's not bad. Get behind her, and then you can dodge it. And she only gives you one little thing of health, so that does not help in hard mode. But it's good we have the infinite life and regen thing going. I love how I jumped into it. Like, I never found a good strategy of avoiding a lot of her attacks outside of just use iframes. I've beaten this before on hard with all the characters, but I don't remember how I got through that with Carol. It's been so long. At least that boss fight's easy as Mila. Because there is none. That's one of her easiest stages, only because there's no boss fight. Alright, let's end this run. I got some good practice against all the different forms of Brevin from earlier, between Torque and Spade. I want it to be like my Spade run, where I don't really have any problems outside of, like, the final phase, which is expected. And not like my Spade run, where I just kind of brute forced it because I like guns, I guess. I don't know what is with me, like the gun gameplay in some games, but I get very reckless.
Won't give up.
Just enough time. Not dealing with an infinite laser next to an infinite laser, thank you. You know what? I'm just gonna let this play out.
Won't give up.
Okay, maybe not a second time, though.
Won't give up.
It's nice I could just let my death animation carry me up on that specific part. You cannot do that in retail. So having the revive definitely helps. Probably should have done that. Oh, just enough meter. I'm trying to remember, how do you get you... Okay, that. I'm trying to remember how to get this guy to jump in place, because by doing that, then you can get him to jump back and forth in the same spot for easy damage. You gotta move forward, I think, and then he'll jump. Yeah, he jumps forward with you. That makes this fight so much easier, and that works in Battle Glacier, too. Okay, nice crouch on the sky there. I must have hit the slope. Oh, I hate when he does the laser off screen. And I also love when that happens too, when you use your boost through his body. It's great. It's something about like the timing of it just doesn't work out with his hitbox. Because his head's the only thing that's a hitbox. But when he does this specific attack, it seems like, yeah, that attack goes right into boost and he just can't hit him for a while. Oh, for some reason I thought I died. I don't know why. Yeah, see, if I was doing real attempts here for hard mode without the revive mechanic, I would be, like, really playing this a lot more safe. Because this fight is definitely just slow and steady, the fight. In some ways, that's harder than Brevin 3. Brevin 3 is a lot more aggressive and does a lot more damage, but it's faster pace, so your nerves don't get the best of you. Like here, you always gotta jump to start. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Phase 2 specifically being really bad for hard. Hey, Master Power, how you doing? I can just wait this out. Definitely cheating, but it doesn't really matter.
Won't give up.
Not when I'm just trying to have a nice casual playthrough and not really try harding it yet. Maybe someday in the future. Good chip damage. Love to see it. I don't like being next to the wall when he's doing that teleport move, because you're pretty much guaranteed to get hit when you're that close. Yeah, see how much more aggressive he is in this specific phase on hard. If you're thinking this boss is bad on normal, yeah, he is. He's very hard. But hard mode's a whole other beast. It's all because of that damage output. And there you go. Okay, now I'm gonna boost left to boost right. Give it a second. Oh, hang on, I missed. That wasn't bad. How many times did I actually die? Because I wasn't paying attention to the death count. It was near the final Dreadnought stuff. We definitely died more, which is expected. If anything, it was probably around 10-ish. 10 to 14 max, if anything. Oh, Farkle, how you doing? Yeah, I'm enjoying the mod so far. It's really good. You did a good job on it. Because I'm assuming that... yeah, actually, I think that is the same username that I saw before. Hey, you're... Yep. I was right. Shout out to Dev. Love getting the devs in chat. I don't need to watch all this. Unfortunately, you can't skip any of these cutscenes. Okay, there you go. Never mind. I wasn't tapping the game, that's why. I'm not gonna watch these credits. More weird. Yeah, let's go.
Hey, you.
I've seen these enough times in my life. I just want to see the stats. Oh, it doesn't count any of the revived deaths. It's only counting the deaths that I actually fall into a pit or get crushed. Interesting. I was wondering how I was going to count that. So, about an hour and a half. Not bad. Especially because I haven't played the game in a hot minute and decided, let's play on hard. Because why not? Alright. One last thing to end it. Sound effect always gets me every time. I don't think we've done pink. I'm gonna go through Fortune Street real quick, or Fortune Night. What's what I call it the game name? Fortune Street. I'm gonna go through this one time with both characters. I just want to see if they dance. I don't remember if they did during the betas of Freedom Planet. Because again, that's been so long. No, we haven't used Earthbuster. I'm trying to think what's actually gonna make sense with the fight in the end, because technically Earthbuster's terrible. We haven't used it. Taking all the worst weapons here. Sure. This is gonna be terrible for the fight in the end, but why not? I forgot he does a high-pitched one. That's just a random thing, because his here we go, most of the time it's not high-pitched. I forgot he can do that. God, that never gets old. Spade has unique animation based on a scrapped animation. Interesting. I'm curious how that's going to look. But yeah, Torque is already a funny character to begin with some of his animations. So I know about like him sitting on the bench. That's one, obviously. And going into space is always amazing. Everyone knows that Easter egg for great reasons. Had a high-pitched bug. Oh, when you do that. I mean, I don't know if it's a bug or not. I know his here we go, that's an Easter egg that was put in the game originally. I thought that had a chance of just happening in general. Oh, hang on. Just gotta... Yeah, there we go. And just out. Man, I wish I can sleep that easily. It just goes out like a log. Hindsight, I probably shouldn't have done that because I wasted the rest of my invincibility, but it'd be fine. I would not think the little restart trick would work with Torque. I think it only works with Lilac because of how her Dragon Boost works. I still totally on hard. I'm trying to remember. I don't think that transfers a time attack, but again, it's been a long time since I've done a hard mode into a time attack, so I have no clue. I still have the settings on from the other run through anyway, so we have infinite lives and refills. It's not a big deal. I just want to see the animations. No, actually, this section would be perfect for Torque because the slot machines don't really help that much in base game. But here, because of how my weapon system works, this is fantastic. Oh, that pitch is a bug. Okay, well, I'm glad I got it because that was hilarious. Don't fix it. Leave it. Have that to be a 1 in, like, what, 8 chance or something? Just like it's an extra Easter egg. That is hilarious. That's a bug.
Gotta continue the mission.
Oh, you had the idea for reworking Torque dashes, getting the ability to dodge like Spark 1 dash. That'd be interesting. Because I am very curious to see how this is gonna play like with further developments. Because I know you said something about wanting to make... Ah, crap. I was wanting the other stuff. I know making a Torque, Adventure, and Classic mode and Spade for Classic. I'm definitely going to be revisiting this in the future when those come out. Because I don't think Galaxy ever planned for Torque to have his own story, did they? I know they just talked about having a Classic for both him and Spade. But they didn't get that far into development of these characters in particular, so it's hard to really say what was actually done or not. Unlike storyboarding, if there was any storyboarding. I know Spade would probably just be strictly Classic. Like, even then, they didn't have any idea for a story. They didn't give him a story until 2. how he said it was more likely to have story. Because, yeah, I know about at least his original stage that was planned, but that got scrapped. And that I wasn't sure if they were just going to do story or classic. Dude, why do I keep on getting the gems now? Alright, here we go. You wanna dance? No, I just don't care. Just like he just never breaks character. Alright, that's pretty good. I'm glad I came back. I don't remember that being in the game beforehand when this was like the beta build stuff on Steam. But to be fair, I don't think I ever stood there during that build of Freedom Planet. Oh, this section's gonna be a joke. Don't mind me, just gonna fly through it all. Oh, I gotta know how the bathrooms work. I think that was in the Steam build. Spade's gonna have the same reaction. Not gonna take that. That elevator's actually a trap. Takes a long way. There we go. Ammo. I need it because I'm fighting this dude again. I don't like how this stage, outside of Lilac, every character has to fight this guy twice. It's a redundant mini-boss. I just didn't have another one planned. Wait, what's that, a seam? Huh. Okay then. Don't know why that's broken. Something about how I ran through the level, I guess? Who knows? He just doesn't know or something like that. I would not be surprised. He is supposed to be from a whole different planet after all. Okay, good. He's still in the back of the plane. I remember this from the Torque build. This makes this fight a lot easier than just running on the ground, to be fair. It's very similar to Mila's fight. Wait, can I still move the plane? Oh, that's pretty comical. It's a side effect of that not being in the game originally. Yeah, not the best weapon set for this, but to be fair, I just want to use different weapons because we pretty much used all those other builds from earlier. And we were showcasing the two different characters in the beginning of this. I wonder how Spade's gonna handle that. To be fair, I don't think he'll be on the back of the plane, but if he is,
We made it!
quick friends with Mila. She is that character to make friends with anyone like real quick though, so I can believe it. Alright, I'm gonna do a sanity check on the difficulty thing. Yeah, let's put that back. What color do we not use? I mean, we didn't use a green. Might as well. That's a very bright green. Yeah, I kind of figured the death animation thing, like with the revive, there's a lot of side effects that are probably still going to need to work in progress, which is fair. Since that wasn't in this game, but in 2, I can imagine getting that kind of mechanic to work in the prequel game is not easy. Also, there's the full running animation. I didn't have the song we were playing before. Kind of similar actually to Lilac's running, which is also similar to Sonic's because it's originally Sonic fan game after all. Bench. Huh, I was expecting him to take out a card or something, just either like, play with it or look at it. Surprisingly peaceful. Pop a new shield because I took some damage on that one. There's my momentum. I'm just noticing the fist. Holding that fist out when you run. Okay, that feels like an anime move. Oh, really? Rainbow is broken on Spade in particular right now. Okay, well, it's good to know that that was a bug that you're already knowing about and getting to fix. I did notice, like, some of the cosmetic bugs here and there when it comes to, like, the revive mechanic. And, like, we've had some stages where we revived at the very end and I'm still sparkling during the boss fight, so I figured there'd be some side effects like that you still have to polish, which is understandable. Doesn't affect the gameplay, so it really doesn't bother me. I wish this guy wasn't just apparent in like every playthrough besides Lilacs. This is how it was originally planned, to be fair, because I believe this was the other stage that was planned for Spade. Like 2 stages they had done. This was 1. So it just plays out like all the other characters because that's all they had done years ago. When was that PAX they showed this? Was that 2015? I think it was 2015 that Spade was demoed. And then he was pretty much dropped after, which is a shame. But Freedom Planet 2 turned out great, so I think it worked out. Oh good, give me lives I don't need. Alright, what do we do here? Oh! Well, that kind of feels out of character, actually, for Spade. Although it makes a little bit more sense with his character for 2. He feels more lighthearted starting 2. It's like he's expressing pride, which I am good with. But it also does not feel like his character in this game. Yeah, I imagine a lot of the stuff, at least for Spade in particular, was probably a nightmare to put together for this, because Spade didn't have that much at all developed before he was canceled. Torque almost had his whole game playable, but still, a lot of things had to be reverse engineered. Give props for being able to do it in general. I figured that'd be the same effect. Oh, and there's also, since you're here in chat, this is actually a really good time to ask, because I was a little confused when I saw it on the Indie page. Torque's exclusive level, that's not in this yet, correct? That is a coming soon thing? Like the stage question in name. I'm just pulling it up. can't remember what it was called. Horizon Starport is what it was. I imagine it just wasn't done yet. Because if it's in this version, I'll show it all, but I don't know if it is. Okay, you haven't had time to update. Okay, that's fair. Because I thought that was the thing when I saw the stage selection. I thought that was a work in progress still. Because I don't remember how you're supposed to access that, but that's like a debug thing. So I remember it's not a stage that's really finished in the proper code. I've never actually played it. I've only seen screenshots. Oh, that's just like that. To be fair, I haven't played this stage in a hot minute, so I kind of forgot that has a layering issue. Oh! Alright. Well, I wasn't expecting this. I mean, yeah, to be fair, Spade doesn't really have any reason to be here. The main four are dealing with Bremen's lackey. So, Duck Guard. Yep, alright. Sure. This character was like heavily underused in this game, so I'm glad he gets some time here. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I can imagine you could just take liberties with for Spade, because they only had 2 stages done, and there's a lot of bosses that, yeah, how do we explain? But I think this is probably the best one. It's just Duck Guard. There we go. I didn't think that car would actually hit. GG's. Okay, that makes sense for the Horizon stage. It'd be incomplete at the moment, wanting to develop it when you start Torque Story, which would make a lot of sense to do that alongside of Torque Story. Because there'll be a lot of custom stuff I imagine you have to do for writing that. And that'd be a good time. But yeah, focusing on another mod first, Float Story. I don't blame you, because it's a big undertaking for something like this, I imagine. Wish you the best on that one. For both making your next mod and then also work on this. Is there any specific stage that I should look at for Spade in particular, though? I've seen Final Dreadnoughts 3 and 4. We obviously just did Fortune Knight. I played through Aqua Tunnel. I don't know if there's any other specific stage that might have a big change to it that's worth showing. The only one I would think of is maybe Sky Battalion? Because Sky Battalion's ending, maybe that could be different? I don't know. Belgmane's changed the truck? Oh, look at that. Oh, no, no, no. The wrong button. Because I want to look at some of the unique things for this specific character. Because Spade had the most potential. That just went nowhere, unfortunately. Would the zip even work as Spade? I kind of want to try it. I remember having a hard time doing the zip with anyone but Lilac. Mila in particular. Well, I might as well try it. Probably get the bats out of the way. Okay, does work. I was thinking if any other character that would work with, it would be Spade because of his dash. Alright, let's see how this works. Because I know Mila's story specifically, or well, she didn't have a story when the game first came out, but her specific level of this was minecart. So you don't even go through this section. Oh, blue truck. That's different. I don't want to do the quick kill right away. I want to see what this thing... Actually, it's even possible to do that. My speed? Maybe. Let me see if I can actually dash that. As long as I don't get close to that claw, it doesn't trigger the fight. Let me get the health as a safety. I think I'm camera locked here. Let me see one more time. But yeah, that camera lock is probably gonna be the problem. If I can avoid the camera trigger, but I think you have to be on the ground for that. That won't work. That's why I'm trying to see the front, because you're saying the truck's different, and I can easily see it if I get to the front. It's gonna be a little awkward. It doesn't help my fingers so killing me. As long as I'm low enough, I don't activate that. I don't get hit. Okay, here we go. Hi! How you guys doing? They definitely just feel like they're just here for the ride. Yeah, that was worth doing the skip. Alright, that was cool. I love their shot animation. Like, ah crap, let's get out. It was really shot they even got up there to begin with. I don't think I've ever seen those NPC characters before. I've seen some of the beta elements for this, but I've never seen those guys. At some point, like, I need to do more research on the game in particular, because in the future, it's one of the things on the docket I want to do videos on, but I'm waiting for more specific things to get developed for Freedom Planet before I cover the game. And there's still more beta elements to uncover and make playable. I think I'll wait for those before making videos on the whole franchise. I've already waited 10 years. What's another 1 or 2? That. I had now. Well, thanks for giving me the extra information here about your mod, Sparkle. I appreciate it. You have a good night. And good job, by the way, with this, too. Dude. Went too fast there. I don't know how easy this thing is gonna be to fight. Cards. Oh no, am I hitting it from up above? I think I am, just barely. It's the explosion, I think, that's hitting it, not the card. There we go. Yeah, just throwing cards from above is not a good idea, because it's not really hitting the body correctly. really did a number on my hand before. This finger of mine is still killing me. Cut it a couple weeks ago, and it's still healing. Not great. Button mashing is still kind of out of the question right now. And let's go fight Spade. Just kidding. The only little glimpse we see of Shadow Spade. I already fought him earlier, and he was not easy. It's like I can't really fight myself or something. Really? How'd I miss? The cards are kind of hard to hit with, to be fair, anyways. Like, unless something's like point blank in front of you, aiming with the cards isn't the easiest thing to do with Spade. Well, I do kind of feel spoiled that I was literally just fighting this guy like an hour ago with Lilac, and that's such an easy fight with Lilac. This Grasshopper stands no chance because of Dragon Boost, but here, it's a natural challenge. I should get the health over the other side. I mean, I have the infinite life thing on. And the revive, so it's not a big deal. But I would rather not die. There we go. Alright, one more cycle. There we go. Hit him with the poker. I think I had a straight flush. Because he's down the toilet. Yeah, the slowdown effect when fighting bosses in this game has always been a really cool thing to me. It just really adds to that suspense. That's what I always liked about Freedom Planet. Just the bosses in general in Freedom Planet are really good. Outside of some exceptions because of their difficulty, the bosses here in general are really fun to fight. Well, the only other thing I want to do is just look at Shenmue Academy here real quick. It should be the same for this character in general. New record 0. I did nothing but hold right. God, I forgot how easy the first one is. Wait. No, actually, it's not that. I think it's because it's still in development, which is very understandable. Man, I'm doing great in these missions. Hey, we were told before, there are things that are still being worked on in this mod. This will be one of them. I just find it funny how we can literally run right, excuse me, and just win. But this was an actual thing that was developed proper for Freedom Planet. But it didn't work here. Okay. So, this actually is a mode that is available to play in Torque's campaign if you download a beta build on Steam. That's why these icons in particular are here next to the targets. You're able to actually play through this hit the target mode with Torque, and he has his own unique levels here. But it looks like they didn't translate just yet into the mod, which again, it's still a work in progress. The full game is playable now in time attack mode with these two characters. So the fact that you're able to play all these stages with Torque and Spade is already a huge amount of work, as we mentioned before. These don't really matter. I never really care for Shenmue Academy too much. It's an interesting mode. Break the targets. This is kind of a little extra fun thing to do. But it's not really a thing that's super replayable, in my opinion. It just kind of exists. The only other thing I want to do right now is I just want to see the running animation for Carol, but I'm pretty much done at this point. What's the stage we can run fast? Final Dreadnought? Yeah. Because of the loops. You start off boosted anyways. Yeah, that animation's almost like the one she has in Freedom Planet 2, actually. Actually, not thinking about it, why didn't I do this one and not Final Dreadnought 3? It has literal boost pads. I hadn't bet. Alright, well, enjoy the rest of your night, Matt, and take care. I'm not streaming tomorrow. Although, if you want to talk, I'm down to talk. We're having a lighter week this week, because the next stream is going to be on Thursday. Check out that new Sonic Racing DLC. Which is actually really cool to see that the DLC got a little bit of a promotion via Terminal Montage. I saw the animation you put out today for it. It was really good. I always like seeing when that kind of stuff happens for creators. Sega's always really good about partnering up with content creators about stuff. What the heck is this gold can? Is that based on my character's color? Well, I couldn't see that because it's gone. Oh, it is. That's neat. So if it was any other color, this would be a different color too. So Carol has the most like nothing burger colors because of her scarf changing, but then she has the bike, which gives her all the customization. That's really cool. Because honestly, the scarf was not enough. I'm glad that she can at least have something else. She starts off on Jade Creek with her bike. So I want to jump into this stage and just look at the bike colors really quick. Yeah, the pink bike actually works. It looks pretty good. Which one now? It's blue? I know for a fact the gray bike will work because you got gray motorcycles in real life. So I've seen a gray bike before. But a blue bike like this, not something I've really seen that often out in the wild. Let me get up here. This seems to be a good spot to stop. Yeah. I haven't seen bikes of this shade of blue. I've seen like navy blue motorcycles, but not really this color. Although, my color's a little shifted because my monitor right now is changed out in colors because of my night shift. But this looks like a light blue of some kind on like my shifted colors. Let me turn off the shifted colors really quick so I can actually see it. There we go. Okay, yeah, that's like it's almost the same blue as the rocks actually. Now we're really getting to see the real color. It's a pretty good looking blue. Her scarf is a nothing burger. You can barely see it, but the bike looks nice. Oh, and this is more of a silver. The color palette looks gray, but her actual scarf is silver. Oh, this looks really good. Oh, that looks amazing, actually. I think it's my favorite motorcycle yet, because it looks so clean. If I'm playing with Carol's custom colors, I think it might just be silver for the bike alone. That's really cool. Yeah, no, if you're still around at this point, Matt, yeah, I would like if you can, like, give a shout tomorrow, because, yeah, we need to catch up on some stuff. I need to ask you some stuff anyways, to be fair. By the way, you have a good rest of your night, though, in general. Alright, but I'm also thinking pretty much done myself at this point. Because that was a really good mod. There's all the different things here in general. Mind you, there's not too much that's changed in the base game, but just being able to play as Spade and Torque in all the stages is great. Because as a reminder, for Torque, if I can look at the level list again, I have to pull back up my VOD for this from years ago.
Yes, sir.
So you were only able to play Shenmue Academy, Dragon Valley, Fortune Knight, Sky Battalion, and hang on a second. After that stage, you skip a couple. So after Sky Battalion, you skip all the way to Battle Glacier. So we have 1, 2, 3 different stages you just flat out don't do. And then it's Final Dreadnoughts 1, 2, and 3. That was all that was here for Torque, which was about half the game, to be fair. But then you got the Spade, and because Spade wasn't finished, he was still a character in the middle of development at the time, at least when he was shown off. He only had 2 stages in general that you can play. And I'm trying to see what they are. YouTube's doing that fun thing where it just freezes in the middle trying to load the next second of video. I love this platform. Says the guy who makes content on it constantly. It's giving me a great outlet for stuff, but man, is the site still buggy. Alright, there we go. Now I got to finally load.
Smart move.
Spade was only able to place 2 stages in his demo. Aqua Tunnel and Fortune Knight. That was it. He got like a 5th of the game if you're... No, actually, it was more like a 6th of the game if you really broke it down. He got nothing. But he was scrapped pretty early on in development, so that made sense as to why. Another thing that was different, actually, and we saw it while playing this, is that his victory animation was changed. And by changed, I mean actually finished. Because, again, he was not a character that was finished at the time that they showed a demo. So his animation didn't look right. This was the animation in question. So when you finish the stage, he looks normal. And then when he flips around, his entire character model just gets downgraded. It's like a completely different art style. This was because Spade wasn't finished during this time that he was demoed for PAX East. Or was it PAX East or PAX West? South. I was 2 different degrees off. When he was in this demo for PAX South, he was not done yet. He was a work in progress that they had to kind of stitch together to make a playable demo, hence why his animation here has a completely different art style at the very end. But in this specific mod, that is not a problem anymore. He has a properly finished animation and art style, and it looks so much better. It doesn't clash. Not to mention all the different things changed specifically for Spade's levels. It's been really cool to see. I think what I'm gonna do for my own personal sake is that I'm gonna probably play through this game with Spade and play through every single one of his levels individually and just get a feel for everything for myself in my own downtime. And I'm also gonna do that with Torque as well, but I've basically played the whole game with Torque before, minus like 2 or 3 stages. So Torque isn't as unique as Spade. Spade just had nothing for his demo, and then nothing for the rest of his life. So I'm interested to see how that plays. As of right now, you need to have the Steam copy, in particular, of Freedom Planet for this mod to work. So if you own this game with like any DRM free copies, or specifically also through GOG, that doesn't work. Hopefully that'll be a thing coming in the future. I would love to see Farkle and your team do that in the future. I have a DRM-free version of this game I would love to just patch the executable for, and then I can just have Freedom Planet Plus as its own standalone game without having to have Freedom Planet installed on Steam in particular, because then I could just take it on the go on a flash drive. That'd be great, because I did that for a long time on Freedom Planet 1. I actually remember playing Freedom Planet 1 in my college class because I had it on a USB drive, and that game could run on a potato. So I remember bringing that with me, and I can do that with this game if it didn't require Steam. But alas, you'd have to crack the game, and I don't want to advertise that for obvious reasons. Oh, okay, yeah, GOG is planned. Notice you might have missed the copy data for the mod. There was missing music. Oh, I didn't realize that. I think I did miss that because I downloaded the Delta patch. I didn't see anything else in that file in particular. So I probably did miss some of the music. That's my bad if that's the case. Let me just see here really quick. To be fair, I don't think that really missed too much on the content front, but I still kind of feel bad about that. Let me look at the file again. Oh yeah, sure enough, the maps and the data here specifically. I didn't add these things in. Yeah, that was a my bad thing. Because I remember making a backup of this last second, and that's probably why. Because fun fact, a little behind the scenes, I decided on streaming this today. Because I wasn't even sure I was streaming today. Just because of a lot of different things going on. So this was something I did kind of last minute. It was this, or I was going to check out the Bomberman 64 recomp. But I'm having some issues with 64 recomp right now. It's mainly the frame rate specific tool doesn't work correctly. So I want to wait until it gets another update to fix that. And that should be fine. Okay, here we go. Let me just drag and drop these files in. Did it grab the... No, there's data. Okay, I was going to say. Yeah, I do have at least the Freedom Plan Plus credits. I was going to play those to outro it. But let's see if we got the music in now. Nope. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, that wasn't playing before. That was a my bad thing. Although we were barely on this menu before, so I guess it wasn't too missed. So I'm trying to see. Okay, so it's Mahjong, the title, and mods. So let me quit so we can play the title in particular. That song I don't remember hearing, but the one we should be hearing for the title screen, probably. If it is all scrap music, I've heard the title screen one before. If it's one of the beta tunes. Wait long enough for the mods menu, Bark shows up? Interesting. I'll do that, I guess, if that's the case. Okay, didn't really hear a difference in that. I have the file anyway, so I can just look at the file. Open to me, player, please. Oh god, this might also blast my ears. This is not a balanced game at all. Yeah, I don't know why that didn't play. I'll just play the audio in question, because, again, I don't know why that didn't play. Let's do audio capture here. And that should be... media player, there we go. And I'm going to have to do something else for my own sanity later. And let's just turn that down to like 20. And I'll bump it up from there. Alright, so let me mute the actual game song here. I'll just mute it from the executable so I can hear it too. Where is it? Here it is. So here's the title song. I don't know why it didn't play, but I'll just play it here from the actual computer. Oh, okay, it was in the credits button. That's how I missed it. Still way too loud. That's better. Okay, I haven't heard this variant of the Freedom Plan title before. I've heard the beta one that's in the OST, but not this. It's very high-pitched. I can see why that was not used with the final product. Where's volume? There we go. Turn that way back down. And then finally, what was the last track I saw? Mahjong. That track I played has a 1% chance to show up. Man, it's a good thing I just played that through Windows. I'm definitely not waiting for that 1% chance to happen. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, I can hear Delta Room inspiration on this song. Yeah, I can really hear it. It's a good remix of the song that's already in the game, to be fair. Alright, well, let's end this proper by now actually going into the credits itself. I'll wait here for a second because I want to see Fark. Does Fark just show up after a couple minutes? Or is it just like wait around for maybe like a minute or so? At least we still get to see Torque fall asleep. Okay, a few seconds, so we're not gonna be waiting here forever. Oh yeah, there he is. Look, hey, how's it going? Alright, bye. I'm off to make a convoluted plot and spark 4 at some point. Seriously, that specific franchise's plot goes places. The games are great. The story is what? Just 100%. I've never recommended those games for story. It's like Bayonetta. Gameplay is great. Don't pay attention to plot. Alright, well, anyways, that's it for this mod showcase, though. This was fun. Again, Farkle, you and your team, you did great on this. Definitely looking forward to, you know, future ventures, and your other mod you talked about from earlier, too. Definitely gonna check it out at some point when it comes out. And same for the updates for this. Definitely now, I think, gonna probably end up putting this on my Steam Deck and just playing it on there. Because this is always a great game to play portably. I remember when Freedom Planet came out on Switch, I played a lot of that on Switch. So I ended up playing a lot of Spade and Torque in particular on the go. Yeah, this is very solid. It was just fun to play Freedom Planet again, because I haven't played this in a few years. Kind of my comfort game, because it's just so easy to pick up and play. I've put so many hours into this. But that's it, though, for tonight. So, see ya. Now let's go to full cam so we can end this proper. But yeah, that was fun, but that is it for tonight's stream. We'll be back on Thursday, in particular. No Wednesday's stream this week. Kind of cutting it back a little bit on streams so I can get some more video work done. So with that said, our next stream is going to be back here on Thursday, as we'll be playing Sonic Racing Crossworlds, checking out the Mega Man DLC, seeing how both Mega Man and Proto Man play with their new vehicle, new stage, and checking out the festival that's going to be happening alongside of their release. It'll be a lot of fun. But with that said, that's pretty much all I got, as I'm taking time, as I said before, to work on video stuff, so you watch whatever on the channel, because nothing's up at the current moment that's super relevant, I guess. So, you know, I'm working on Pikmin 2. I'm working on doing some challenge stuff for Pikmin 2, and that'll come down the road, probably next month, if I want to put a timetable on it. But for now, though, that's it for tonight's stream. So, with that said, I'm out, for real this time. Thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you back here on Thursday for Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Take care and have a good night, everybody.